Good evening, everybody in the Sunday pub. I'm Matt. In case you've never been here before, I just thought I'd get some Fitz. This is Fitz, my very large cat. I thought I'd get some Fitz in while she is sitting right next to me on my desk. She doesn't always do that, so we may not see her again tonight. Hi. For anybody who's here for the first time, this is Sunday Pub, where I invite other book nerds, friends, other booktubers, interesting people to join me on screen and chat about whatever the hell we want to chat about. Usually book-ish stuff, but often not so bookish stuff. Whatever we feel like. It's been a week. As you pub regulars know, I was away last weekend. I was at a gaming convention, which is a lot of fun. Something I do about 3 times a year-ish. I think 4. There's a particular thing I go to called the Kraken, and it's 4 times a year if I go to all of them every year. And I couldn't go to the one that was 3-ish months ago because my gout flared up. So I was bound and determined to go this time, which was last weekend. And I did, although I possibly shouldn't have because I was sick. A day or two before the thing started, or before I was meant to leave, I started getting a very bad cold. Like very bad. Like fever and stay in bed all day kind of bad. But I went anyway. And I'm glad I went. I did have a good time, although I kind of missed about half of it, which was a little disappointing. Because I was sleeping for half the day for 2 or 3 days while I was there, which was not so much fun. But speaking of fun, here's Evie.
Hello.
Hi, Evie. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And a George.
Yep, and a man.
Or a George Butt, anyway.
Yep. You know. So how was I probably joined in as you were talking about it, but how was last week?
Yeah, I was sick. I did go, but I was fighting the whole time I was there. I was fighting with a pretty bad cold.
Ugh.
So I would be like up in the morning and I'd have a game and I'd hang out with some people and have lunch and then go to bed until the next morning, kind of thing. So yeah, it was mixed. It was really good to be there. It was really good to see all the people that I see when I go to this thing. I had a good time when I was conscious, but I was conscious less than I would have liked. But anyway, and since then it's been a rough week, I'll be honest.
Ugh.
Mood-wise, and also just I'm still getting over. I'm still coughing a bit, and my head is still kind of stuffed up. And but Thornell's right. You look good.
Thank you. I guess, as opposed to, I'm gonna take that as that I don't look like shit any other day. So
yeah, see that's. I would love for all women I've ever met to learn this. You look good does not mean you usually don't.
No, I know. I'm just messing.
It never means that. That is never what someone is trying to say to you.
No, so speaking of the hair things that you were talking about, yeah, I realized that I ran out of like hairbands. Like I literally was down to my last hairband, and my hair is so thick that like at some point it's just gonna snap because it apparently it cannot contain my hair. So I went to
Evie cannot be contained. You heard it here first.
It's true. At least my hair can't. But yeah, so I went and bought like a shit ton of hairbands of various sizes. So yeah. Did you at least reading that, by the way?
I did. I mean, because I was under the weather and feeling kind of crap, and also like being around someone who's sneezing constantly and coughing all the time and whatever is not pleasant for other people. So there were a number of points where I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. I'm not really sleepy tired, but I'm going to bed.
Right.
And I read when I was in bed quite a bit. And I finished Blind Sight by Peter Watts, which was our book club, our Fireside book club. For those of you who don't know, we have on the Fireside Discord, link in the description. Evie is a mod. I run the server with Josh and Joanna. And the four of us have a book club thing that we just started. Each of us nominates a book. Everybody on the Fireside can vote on the books. And then we read the one that got the most votes. And we do this once a quarter. And then we're going to have a live stream discussion with the four of us at some point, undetermined as of yet, in the future. And Joanna nominated Blind Sight, and it won the vote by actually quite a large margin. I think it was at least twice of anything that was anywhere near it.
This is why we should never allow democracy to happen.
Or we should never allow Joanna to nominate again. I'm not sure which. Anyway, speaking of friends, which we weren't really, but here are some.
Dan! Derry!
It's Dan and Derry.
Hey.
I haven't seen you in a while, Dan. Yeah. Hear you good.
Yeah, summer, kids, they kind of get in the way of my fun,
I understand.
So I've been reading a lot. I actually read Assassin's Apprentice there. And
Let's go!
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
I mean,
yeah,
Derry is the main person you have to tell that, but you're also here with three other people who are going to be very happy if anyone reads Assassin's Apprentice.
Very.
It's not only Derry. It's especially Derry, but it's not only Derry.
To hear first thing in the morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great start to my week.
More importantly, how'd you like it?
I gotta say, it was a bit of a slog here and there. However, I like the unique take on the bastard son. He's not insistently bullied and put under a stairwell. I like the whole story. There are certain things that we could have gone in different directions and not touched on as much. There was a lot of hammering things home. But yeah, man, what an interesting story. I want to find out what's going on with the sickness and things like that. It's getting interesting, man. It seemed to be building up to something, and then finally got to it. And you're like, wow, yeah, it's got the hooks in me now.
You, if I understood correctly, you definitely liked it enough to continue.
Yeah, because I've been told that the first book, there's a relationship in the first book that is being cultivated, and it's a bit droning and a little boring here, and I have a feeling this person's going to come back, or maybe not, or maybe I don't know. But they're setting a lot of things up within the first book, and yes, that occurs in your epic fantasy first books. Some of them can be a bit of a slog, a bit dull, because you're getting to know your characters, your players, your world, and things like that. But yeah, I thought the magic was done really well. I had a good time with that. It was pretty good. I did it on audio, which is not is not my typical format, my style, but I tend to miss things on audio.
Nothing to write home about, and some of them are truly awful. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just in general, I mean, it's been a while since I read Robin Hobb for the first time, but thinking of her and her writing compared to a lot of things in fantasy, it's a gear shift. Yes. She does dwell on a bunch of things sometimes for what seems like a really long time compared to what another author might do. But I can tell you with absolute certainty, she's doing it for a reason, and it's worth it. She's building up stuff, like you said. She
knows how to do a payoff like nobody.
Yeah. Her.
Yeah, it was a good payoff at the end there. Yeah. I enjoyed that ending, actually. Pretty good.
Wait until the payoff of the trilogy.
Yeah, I bet.
It just keeps.
Yeah, and it just keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah, the world you're getting you as you become more familiar with everybody and you just get more of a relationship with everybody, that payoff becomes even more emotional and even more worthy, and it's marvelous. I finished my rug.
You did. Ida commented on that, and I was staring for a minute when you popped on the screen. I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
That's not her usual background.
And then I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. You were talking about the rug. Cool. Looks good."
Guys saw me halfway through making it, and this is the finished product.
Nice.
Which I'm really proud of because it's the first one I ever made.
You should be.
So, and it lays flat and everything. So proud of myself.
My granddad used to make rugs.
Really?
Not rugs like that, but hook rugs. You know, the one where you have sort of a grid.
Yep. And you just knock each individual.
Got yarn strips through it. So when I was a kid, I had a big rug like that on my floor in my room, which was a big three-masted sailing ship. No, three-masted sailing ship, and I had another one that had something else on. You know, I had all these rugs from him when I was a kid.
Nice.
Handmade shit is cool. People apparently love your rug.
That makes me happy because it was the therapy I needed in the last couple of weeks. So
it really ties the room together.
Thank you, Jerome.
That's actually a big Lebowski. That's Jerome quoting the Big Lebowski. it does.
I remember that part. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Big Lebowski, like John Wick. John Wick is a story of a man whose dog gets killed, and he hunts down everybody and takes revenge. The Big Lebowski is a story of a man who just wants his rug back.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's such a good movie. Such a good
movie. It is.
Yeah,
it's classic.
Sometimes you just need the exact thing, but yeah. So
I don't roll on Shabbos.
Exactly. I don't roll.
It's a great movie.
My uniform is always a June-related shirt. I actually never realized that.
Yeah, you're always wearing.
I wear Malazan shirts.
Shirt or
that's true.
Shirt.
That's true. I like them. I think they look good on camera. So.
And obviously the subconscious goes, it must be book related.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to Hob though, Matt, when are you gonna finally read the Fits in the Fool trilogy?
When I finish the 4 Ringwalds.
And that's the fool that I've been dealing with in the first book.
Yeah, basically.
Fits. Yes,
I like it.
The really big structure of all 16 books then is there are 3 trilogies, which have to do with Fits in the Fool.
Ooh,
sometimes
I like,
more Fits.
I like their interactions.
Yeah.
Oh, they're amazing.
You get
and then there are 2 trilogies that are in between those trilogies, which are different things.
And they
in the same world.
Style.
Little overlap, but yeah, totally different style, totally different characters mostly. Really different stuff going on.
Yeah. Like you get the setup, you get the foundation, and then you get, okay, now you need some context from somewhere else. So we'll take you over here and we'll give you this story because you need that information for when we come back over here and build the next part of the story. And then we need to give you some more context and we'll look at this over here, which you need to come back over here and finish the whole thing. And
yeah.
So
they're very good.
I thought you had finished the Brainwelds. Which one are you up to?
Yeah, that's a good question. Which one am I up to? Wait just a sec.
City of something.
Yeah, I finished City of Dragons.
Okay, so you've just got the last one to go.
Oh wait a sec. No. I'm totally blanking out on what I read recently. I recently you're completely right, Evie. I recently finished Ringwalds.
Excellent.
And I'm having a little break in between. I'm reading other things that Evie will approve of. And then I'll get to the last trilogy in Realm of the Other
I'm just saying, if you don't finish Fits in the Fool by the end of the year, I will have words with you.
Also, he's
I
still
look
in
forward
his
to
set
those
look
words.
forward to.
Yeah.
There's really no downside here.
No.
But,
No, and really, I always think of my TBR as being in kind of a quantum state. I don't actually know what I want to read until I decide to read something new.
Right. So you have a Schrodinger's TBR.
Kind of, yeah.
You will read it next, or you won't. We won't know.
I am reading this, and beyond this, I have a very open idea of what I could read next.
What's
I really
that?
don't know.
Tchaikovsky? Is that who you have in your hand?
That is an Adrian Tchaikovsky. I've been reading a lot of Adrian Tchaikovsky lately. This is the second book in the Tyrant Philosopher series. It is pretty damn good.
Nice.
I
will
have to
be
say.
reading the novella
Yeah.
Bitter Rain next month. And I'm so
Evie is a high class citizen of BookTube because she actually got an arc.
It's not that exciting. It's not Gala. It's an e-arc. It's not that.
It's an arc anyway.
It's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah. So, and that's if I remember correctly, that's a
Prequel to Days of Shattered Faith.
well, it's like a novella that goes in between House of Open Wounds and Days of Shattered Faith.
Well, yeah. It's a prequel to Days of Shattered Faith. So yeah, I guess you could read it before Days of Shattered Faith.
I can answer this for you, Marianne. When he is not reading one, which hasn't been for a while.
Have you read?
I've been reading quite a few lately. But yeah, really, really good stuff. I think you would have you read any Tchaikovsky?
No, it'll be I'm juggling which is going to be my first one, Children of Time or City of Last Chances or something like that.
I think
there's so many different ones.
Knowing you, I would actually recommend that you start with The Final Architecture, which is a trilogy. The first book is called The Shards of Earth, or just Shards of Earth, not the. I think you would really rock with Shards of Earth. I think you would really enjoy that trilogy. It's very cool.
Yeah, his
read, so it's good to have someone who already knows your style to kind of go, try here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brian. Dan has fallen off the vaping wagon. Apparently, it's back on the smoke.
No, I bought a Lucy at the store. I'm off the vape, but I got a Lucy at the store. Yeah, just one every now and again. The kids aren't here, that's why I'm smoking in the house. And I kind of got a little vacation. They're not around, so I can smoke one in the house while I'm hanging out with you guys.
It's such a deeply programmed thing. As soon as I saw you smoking a cigarette, I was like,
yeah, you went for your vape, right?
I wouldn't mind a cigarette right now. I'm not going to touch any. I have a pack in my desk drawer, which I keep there all the time.
Don't throw them out.
No. I keep them there very consciously. When I quit smoking, I was like, the deal I'm making with myself is, if I want a cigarette, I'm going to vape for 10 minutes. And then if I still want a cigarette, I'll smoke one. So I keep a pack in my desk. So I could smoke one anytime I want. But it makes me happier or prouder, I guess, of myself for not smoking, because I have cigarettes and I am not smoking them. I could even just reach over into my desk and grab one anytime, but I'm not, and that I actually like that.
Ida, to answer your question, sorry to shift gears back to books.
Please.
So there are overlapping characters.
So far, there's one overlapping character.
Yeah, I'll just say that there are overlapping characters.
One and a half, sort of.
Yeah, so they're not all set in Ilmar, at least of the 3 books that are out so far. But they are all related to the Palestine in some way or another. So
yeah.
In other books,
they're all in the same world. I mean, it actually feels a little bit like Realm of the Eldlings in a way, because I mean, I'm only part the way through the second book, but it's in a totally different place. All of the characters are not in the first book, except sort of two. There are related things. It's clearly in the same world. There are connections, but it's not you could pretty much read this without reading the first one and not be lost.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of a restart in a different place, different story, different cast mostly. So, yeah.
Gary, are you about to drop some Robin Hobb book news?
Do it.
If only, Evie. If only. But it's almost as exciting. The new Dresden book has a release date.
Oh, 12 something?
No, 20th of January.
No. I mean,
12 months, the book, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 12 months. I'm very excited about that. So I'll start rereading Dresden soonish. And I'm actually going to look on, I was going to do it yesterday and forgot, and I've just reminded myself. I'm going to go on Goodreads and see how long it usually takes me to read the whole series and just time it so that I can go straight into the new one. So,
Ida, I would say I found City of Lost Chances, and I like Tchaikovsky a lot, if you haven't noticed. I found City of Lost Chances a bit challenging. I think because it jumps around a fair bit. Like there are a lot of POV shifts in the first half of the book, roughly. I think there are no repeated POVs. And then the second half of the book comes back to more specific people over and over. But I just sort of found it challenging. I was enjoying it. Writing style, amazing. Interesting story, but it just wasn't grabbing me and it wasn't pulling me in. I can say, though, Ida, since sounds like you're having a similar experience, this is grabbing me more than City of Lost Chances did. It does have POV shifts, but it doesn't have a lot of characters. And it's all kind of in a more compressed, contained space.
Yeah, it's a much more intimate story in regards.
I mean, so far, almost everything, I'm like a third of the way through the book. So far, everything that's happened in the book sounds like pretty much everything, not all of it, but most things in the book have happened within about 500 meters of each other. It's pretty, it's very focused. I mean, it's not a spoiler or anything to say. Mostly it's focused on a military hospital in the middle of a war.
fun.
Yeah, well, strangely enough, it's Tchaikovsky's funniest. It is. It's his funniest book that I've read. It's dark humor often, but yeah, it's actually very humorous. I've laughed out loud numerous times, and I don't do that often. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm enjoying it.
Gary.
Might watch. How far?
So I'm like this far. Not gonna lie,
You struggled.
I'm struggling. I'm still struggling.
Still struggling. Okay.
It's the whole timey-wiminess of it.
Timey-wiminess.
Yes, there is timey-wiminess in Night Watch.
Yeah, it's just
We haven't got to my favorite bit yet, so that's okay.
It's taking a lot of my brain power to focus here. Although Nobby would
appropriate book to be reading at the moment for you.
Yeah. Nobby would nick anything and dodge anything, but he wasn't bad. You could trust him with your life, although you'd be daft to trust him with $1.
Yeah.
Are we talking about guards right now?
Yeah.
Well, the City Watch series. Yeah.
Just later on.
Okay, City Watch. Okay. Yeah,
City Watch is the series. Night Watch is one of the books in the series.
Watch is the sub-series.
I like Men at Arms better than Guards, actually.
A lot of people do, because it is a better book.
Yeah.
But if you're going to read me
thematically, it's a better book. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Feet of Clay and Jingo also awesome. That's as far as I am. I finished Jingo earlier this year. So
Fifth Elephant
Fifth Elephant next. Yeah.
And yeah.
So good.
So what was everybody's consensus on Blind Sight?
Apparently the Discord also isn't too impressed.
Really?
Yeah,
I liked it.
yeah. We were. I mean, I wasn't as like 100% convinced that it was garbage as other people seem to be,
Oh,
but I probably would have DNF'd it if I hadn't promised to read it for the book club. If I had just picked it up, I probably would have gotten about halfway, 3/4 of the way through and thought, I don't think I'm enjoying this really. Yeah.
I'm not a hard sci-fi guy, and I don't know. It just felt intense, dark, and you had these people on the ship that barely know each other, and it just I like the concept of these aliens and things like that, and I had a good time with it, but bit hard sci-fi for me though.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. It's a book where I can point at a lot of things in isolation that I thought were actually pretty good. There were a lot of interesting concepts brought up in it. There were a lot of interesting or very well written, like specific passages. There were bits of it where I'd be like, oh, this is really nicely written. This is really gorgeous prose. There were some interesting character things, but it didn't add up to I'm enjoying this. I just I don't know. And there was an interesting thing that he did, or at least I think it was an interesting thing that he did. It might have been accidental. One of the big themes of the whole story is understanding, like comprehension of things, like a mind's ability to comprehend things. And a lot of the writing seemed to be intentionally obtuse so that comprehension was a bit difficult. And I was like, either he's not a great writer and he's writing a obtuse book, which is kind of annoying, or he's very intentionally writing a slightly obtuse book because the characters in the book are also having a hard time comprehending their situation, and there's some stuff with the aliens that has to do with comprehension. And I don't know. I think there was an interesting thing there, and I'm willing to give him credit for that. I just didn't really enjoy it that much. Yeah.
Hey, George. You're mirrored, Evie. It's my mind is going, why does Evie look different? And it just clicked. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, sorry.
That is so much better.
I forgot that it always. Listen,
Yeah.
there you go. All the
everybody is mirrored except me. Because it doesn't save your settings.
By the way, are irrelevant now because it's always a case of I look better in the mirror than I do, so it's fine.
I agree, Ron. It wasn't the hardness of the sci-fi that I like. I also didn't like. I also like hard sci-fi. He did use a whole lot of jargon, which was very clearly intentionally kind of obtuse,
right,
and hard to understand, and you had to look things up and all of that. And I'm not a big fan of that, but I do like hard sci-fi. I have no problem with hard sci-fi. So it wasn't just that. Also, yeah, not drawn to pick it up when you put it down. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yep. Jerome has to be contrary. He loved it. Oh, you're reading Berry Giant?
Yeah, somebody asked.
How is it?
I like it. It's these the whimsical nature of the prose and the cute couple that we're with here. Obviously it's a it has a lot to do with memory, maybe Alzheimer's. You can see something as being a play on or a theme of memory. But I'm having a good time with it. I like it. This guy's. I enjoy everything he writes. Actually, Kaizu. He's all his books have really captivated me. Right from the beginning, and this one is no different. And it's third person, I believe, was Clara and the Sun first person.
I haven't read it yet.
Oh, you haven't read Clara and the Sun? Okay.
No, what I did is Tori gifted me Never Let Me Go. Okay. I read that, loved it, bought everything by Ishiguro, and started at the beginning, like publication order. So I've read A Pale View of Hills, Artist of the Floating World, and now the one we were talking about recently, Dan, I'm blanking on the name right now.
The Buried Giant and
No,
dude,
before that.
yeah, my one
Remains of the
probably
Day.
my
Remains of the
favorite
Day.
book. Yeah, it's might be my number one book ever.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacularly good. The Remains of the Day. So I've read up that far, and I think the next one is, wait a sec. The Unconsoled is the next one for me. Oh yeah, John just asked, have we read it? I have not read it. It's the next on my Ishiguro list.
And I have found unread books with a comfort author. So I'm in the middle. I'm not in the middle. I'm almost finished reading the Collegium Chronicles, which is a sub-series of Mercedes Lackey's Valdemar. And according to Goodreads, I've read it before. But given the date of Goodreads, I read it not long after my stroke, which is why I have zero memory of it.
Right.
So I am enjoying it very much. There's something to be said for finding something more by an author that always makes you feel better, because her books are far more optimistic than most fantasy is now.
If it makes you feel any better, Derry, yeah. Goodreads tells me that I've read things I've never even heard of, and I've never had a stroke.
That might be a you problem.
It's absolutely a me problem.
So I don't know what you were doing when you set up your Goodreads. But
no, I mean, I believe Goodreads. Like I'm pretty sure there's nothing in my Goodreads that I didn't put there, but I just have a garbage memory. So
it's a pretty good what's the word? Indication of the quality of the books that you apparently don't recall.
Yeah. Yeah, so. There are a lot of. I've actually done that a number of times, where I'll start a book, I'll get about 100 pages in, and I'm like, first of all, I'm not liking this very much, and second of all, I kind of feel like I know everything that's happening already. Yeah. So it might be also that I've DNF'd a book in the past. Yeah.
I've got another Mercedes Lackey video almost ready to go. Just got to finish editing it.
Cool. So, I don't know that I've ever read anything by Mercedes Lackey.
She's hugely prolific. Hugely.
Yeah, I'm aware of her. Very aware of her. But
there's almost 40 books in the Valdemar series, and similar to Discworld, they can be read in almost any. They were written in a really weird order, so you can read them in any kind of order. But rather than standalones as individual works like Discworld, it's more like Realm of the Elderlings, and that they're trilogies that are all over the place. But there's loads. And I discovered when I started making the Mercedes Lackey videos is that the anthologies, which I see now and then, of short stories are all Valdemar specific anthologies, and she's put maybe one story in all of them. But people like Anne McCaffrey and Jodie Lynn, Nye, Tanith Lee, names in fantasy have written in these short stories. There are almost 20 anthologies of short stories.
Oh, wow.
Which blew my mind.
Which are all Valdemar related.
Which are all set in Valdemar. They're not like collections of, similarly themed things. Or there are Valdemar specific anthologies.
So
you have a lot of them.
So basically, you have like Tanith Lee writing a Valdemar story. That's cool.
It's crazy. So I'm going to have to hunt those down eventually and read those as well. She has the Elemental Masters books where there's like 20 of those. She's got the Bardic Voices ones, which are really good. And the first one is a riff on The Devil Came Down to Georgia. Literally, she plays a demon for a fiddle, and I really enjoyed that one. That's The Lark and the Wren. And she does like urban fantasy almost with elves. She does historic fantasy. She does. And she co-writes with a lot of people too. So she's insanely prolific. Insanely. But most of her stuff is optimistic. there's good in the world, and we just have to let people be happy and healthy, and we can get it. So let's all help each other be happy and healthy. So for, rubbish brain states, it's good. So.
Cool.
One day, Derry, I will finally listen to you, and I will read The Heralds of Baltimore.
I like to think I'm good at picking brain fluff that's not a waste of your time. It's brain fluff that at least makes you feel better. So, and yes, Elemental Masters is fairy. Oh, and she also does the 500 Kingdoms, which is specific fairy tale retellings. And yeah, so she has so many books. It is ridiculous.
Speaking of short stories, I recently picked up, what is it? I have to look at my Amazon list. Of Shadows, Stars, and Sabers, which is an anthology of short stories. And it's got a short story in it from Tyrant Philosophers. Which takes place before this and after City of Lost Chances.
Nice.
And involves one of the main characters from City of Lost Chances, Yaznik. Yeah, because I wrote Adrian and I was like, dude, like there was something going on in here, and I was like, dude, this is hilarious. I am laughing a lot at this particular situation. And he was like, oh, if you like that, there's a short story in this anthology that I wrote, which is just about that. And it sort of happens between the books.
What's it called again?
Of Shadows, Stars, and Sabers.
I bought a really old collection of short stories, and I've only read one in it, but it was off a Janie Wirtz rec, off somebody's video. She was in the chat throwing out reference. Because she's amazing for recs. And it was, the way she sold it was, it's a cat who through a prank is listed as a crew member on a spaceship, and something happens that all the humans are incapacitated, and the cat is now the captain of the spaceship. And I was like, I need to read that story. And so it's a collection called Cats in Space, and that's the only short story I've read in it so far, and it is glorious. I want more. It finished, and I was like, no, I want more of this. This was fabulous.
That is the kind of thing where I can imagine that, like, if you approach a publisher and say, I want to write a science fiction book all about a cat, they're not going to jump for joy. But I can also imagine that science fiction readership and cat lovers, those are almost two circles on top of each other. Like, yeah. There's a lot of overlap. So I can imagine that those books would sell well. Fitz, speaking of cat lovers.
Speaking of cat lovers, this guy's a bit of a cat lover.
Yes.
I went up Bird Chronicles.
Murakami.
He captivates me like no other. There's that guy. He's somebody I got into this year.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't read any Murakami in a long time, but I had a sort of phase in my 30s where I read everything he had written. He's written a lot since then.
You told me this one was the one you liked better, so that's who's next on my list. That's the book next on my list. The Wind Up Bird Chronicle. Yeah,
Murakami is pretty cool. He's always got, not all of his books I think, but a lot of his books have got some kind of slightly weird
shit. Yeah,
things. Sure. Not weird sex scenes exactly, but sort of weird sexual.
Brother sister type stuff. Weird stuff.
Mason, we read A Song of Ice and Fire. What the?
Yeah. It like your mileage may vary. Like for me, weirdness in Murakami, I'm like, it's kind of weird, and you get past it pretty quickly, and the rest of it's pretty cool, sort of surreal, magical realist sort of stuff.
The imagination is just crazy.
Yeah, he's got a great.
And the smoothness of his writing is fantastic. He's a beautiful writer too. It's fantastic.
Yeah. He's also got a semi. I haven't read it, but I've heard about it. I don't know if you'd call it exactly an autobiography, but it's autobiographical at least, and I think somewhat fictional as well.
running or something.
It's
I think?
the title of the book is really weird. It's what I talk about when I talk about running.
Yes, I've seen that book. Yeah,
he's a marathon runner.
yes,
And he runs a jazz bar in Tokyo or something. You know, he's definitely an interesting guy.
That's kind
of
Totally go together. Yeah. Interesting guy.
But the sex stuff can throw you off. There are some people just like, I can't do this. And I've read
some
1Q84.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
1Q84, there's something that happens in it. I'm just like, man, this was a 5-star book except for that. And like, I don't know if I want to, because it wasn't necessary. You know, it didn't need to be there. And it just reading it was bothersome in that book. But that book also, 1Q84, I enjoyed as well.
I've always wondered, and I don't know anyone who is deep enough in Japanese culture to really figure this out, but I've always wondered if some of his weird sort of sexual takes are a cultural difference, because I know that Japanese are in some ways really weird about sex. There are cultural things that are weird.
Yes.
In Japan, you know, and how much of it is sort of like, if I was Japanese, I would take this a totally different way, or how much of it is he's kind of weird, you know?
I think he touches on everybody's dark sense or dark imagination. Not dark imagination, but no matter. Honestly, it's all about sex. I don't even know if I want to get into it or nothing like that. But when I'm reading the book, I'm like, man, I want to tell somebody this, because people might think it's weird, but there's stuff that isn't as weird. You know.
Ron, I'm gonna save that word. I like the word misogynish a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that word for later. I'm sure I'll need it.
That could be.
Go ahead, Evie. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, as someone who has read neither. Well, technically, I did read Kafka on the Shore in college, but I don't remember it. It's fine. But as someone who's technically not read Murakami nor McCarthy, in my brain, I put them on like the same like tier where their creative choices and their tendencies to include certain things can put people off like nobody's business. So
their intentions are obtuse. Both authors' intentions are obtuse because they don't want you to really know. At least that's how I feel. For Blood Meridian, for McCarthy, he's very sparse in his prose, and nobody knows what Blood Meridian's about because he never told anybody, and everybody has a theory. So there's these talking points, and I think with Murakami, it's the same way. He does. He Murakami's more about, like, I think where we talk about Cormac, he's more like social change and things like that, talking about social change. But Murakami is more about connection and personal connection and internal connection, or connection with other people. But you find that a lot in his books. It's about two people who had no business being, in a story together, are thrown in the story together, and they connect somehow. And it's pretty amazing. And each person finds something about themselves. So it's an inner connection as well, along with a minor connection with somebody that can just change the trajectory of your whole life. But it's in the stories a lot. When you read Murakami or when you read McCarthy, I go into those books like they're telling me something. I got to find out what the fuck it is, and that's how I feel about those types of authors. But when I get into like a fantasy book, I am not looking hard for themes. I'm looking for the storyline.
Murakami, you have to. I always find like there's no point in surface reading Murakami. Like all of the stuff I read from him, like the obvious things that are happening, a lot of it they don't make that much sense. Like there is a much deeper thing going on in the story than just the surface events.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that
Um,
if you've started reading Hobb, theme work in your fantasy will become something you adore.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
And you said something you were reading was thematically about memory. Again, that's a massive theme in Realm of the Elderlings.
Yeah.
Massive.
Hey,
But you
drug
can.
addiction is in Realm of the Elderlings too. That's
Oh,
another
Absolutely.
thing
many
that they
forms.
threw in there. I was like, oh my god, this guy's an addict. Yeah, so
Yeah,
there are a lot of
There's-
subtle themes in that story.
In the second trilogy, there's a lot on addiction as well. Totally different than what's in the first trilogy, but yeah, she covers addiction in numerous
the thematic
numerous
work
places.
in that series is crazy good. Crazy good.
Yeah.
That's right. I found
Thanks,
myself
Brian.
getting serious during a live stream. Someone was mocking Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I'm like, stop it. It's actually really good. Keep going. And because some of the theme work in that later on gets pretty dark. But
I'll never know.
Once I started thinking about
really
it, I was like, oh my God, this goes really deep. And then the next thing I read, I was like, oh, wow, okay, right. There's a lot to be said in this about social media and controlling populaces. And
Okay.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
It's one thing. The last thing I would say about Murakami, I'm having a hard time thinking of any woman I know who really likes him.
I don't think you will. Yeah.
I know a number of guys. Like I quite like Murakami. Dan does. I know Josh is into Murakami. He's read a lot of his books.
Jimmy's a fan.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't find a lot of women liking Philip K. Dick either. And it's kind of the same reason. You know, there's some misogyny there. There's no good actually, he has good female characters, but in PDK, there's no good female characters. They are all, male gazing, props for us and things like that. But, Murakami, it's the weird stuff's going to throw most people off, and, a bit of the underlying misogyny as well.
Yep. All right. Evie has to go for a bit, maybe back later. Good to see you, Evie.
Oh, Eves, have a good one.
Enjoy.
Always lovely to see you. And I like your hair tied back like that. You look pretty.
Let's not take this out of context.
It's a great sentence, Bex. Great sentence.
Marianne also apparently likes Dick.
It took me a minute. I wasn't looking at this comments. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of those authors where it's good to be careful when you're talking about him and say his full name, just in case. Yeah, I mean, if you know a little bit about Dick's life, like his actual private life, he was a really weird dude.
Listen, some woman hurt him a long time ago, and he never got over it. And it is in his writing. You can tell it is there. And I think it's in his autobiography too. There's something about him being at a hotel and his girlfriend and the breakup. And I'm like, dude, come on, you just get over it, man, and write a decent, female character.
He wrote a lot of really interesting, bizarre science fiction.
The concepts are out of this world.
He was Marianne is sticking to her Dick. Yeah.
As opposed to,
I mean, Jerome loves Dick more than Moorcock. So that's
more than Moorcock.
More than Moorcock.
More than Moorcock.
Yeah, the other option, of course, is PKD. As Mitch says, PKD is a good shorthand for him. Until I read one of his biographies. Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's they say don't meet your heroes, and also maybe don't read biographies of your heroes. Like
this is also not always true because Terry Pratchett.
It's not always true. It's not always true. Yeah, exactly. Terry Pratchett. Nothing horrible has come to light about Terry Pratchett, and he's dead, so it probably won't at this point.
That's right.
Which is awesome.
He seems to me like an exceptional human being too. Like he brought up some really decent themes, and he seemed to be like on my side. So he seemed like a cool guy, Mr. Pratt.
I liked learning that he was a tinkerer. I liked knowing that he liked to pull apart things and put them back together, that he built his own computers, that he built his own networks. I loved finding that out about him, because I didn't know that until I read the biography.
I don't know if
because the main character dies, but
I don't know if Thornall is actually making a dick joke or if he's asking a serious question, but I would not call PKD hard sci-fi. I would call
not
it
at all
psychedelic sci-fi.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
Jerome says, drug sci-fi. Yeah, his stuff has a lot more to do with psychology and the brain not working right, and hallucination and
he definitely hung out with Uncle Sid a lot back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you, Rogue, in the
chemicals.
Chat.
Rogue is only saying this because Rogue is Irish, and he objects to the whole idea of knighting anyone
for services to literature. It's Terry Pratchett, and he deserves the sobriquet Sir, because that man deserved every bit of respect that was handed to him, because he freaking earned it.
Every time Sir Terry's Sir is brought up, Rogue, it's Rogue's obligation as an Irishman.
He's just keeping it real. He's just keeping it real.
Objecting fundamentally to the concept of anyone being knighted and there being a queen at all.
That's fine. I'm English. Yeah. He was English. We both had a queen, and the queen went, "You're good at what you do." I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people have. I'm certain a lot of people have been knighted for reprehensible behavior,
and also for really weird dumb things. So
Well, yeah, also for totally useless things that are,
But, also, he forged his own sword.
Brian,
he at least took it seriously.
That's cool.
I'll give the Queen a call, Brian, and maybe services. Oh yeah, the King. That's right. I don't have his number.
I'm sorry, but Charles is never going to be king in my head. It feels so weird that he's king.
So weird. Yeah.
So weird.
Totally.
And yet I know I'm going to be fine when William takes over.
Y'all lost a 13 colony lead.
If.
The thing is that this is one of the reasons why I like the Queen. She was fine. As people were breaking away from the Empire, she was like, okay, this is the correct thing to be doing. Like, good on you. Acknowledging the errors.
Yeah.
We're all burning here in the States. We're okay. Don't worry about it. We'll survive over here.
Away from home. It's all good.
We got 3 more years of the Twilight Zone. So
at least
not. We got 4. We got 3.5 more of the Twilight Zone.
Well, we'll see what happens after that. We'll see what happens after that. I'm very curious.
Might be heading to New Zealand after that.
Yeah. I mean, one of my best friends is American, and we both have American passports. We both have permanent residence visas in Germany. And every second time we see each other, we talk about the news for 5 minutes. We're both like, glad we can live in Germany.
Hey, make sure your papers are in check if you decide to come over. Okay, because there's people with masks running around here, just yoking people out of their jobs and houses and sending them to Sudan. So
I'm slightly nervous about coming back to the States. To be honest,
wait 3 years. Like I said,
I've got things. I mean, they do a complete check on your devices, right? And I'm sure I've got things because I text with people who are not insane. I have things where we're like, Trump is fucked.
Also, I find that so strange from outside and having zero interaction with the States. From outside, I see the projected image that this is what we are. Freedom of speech is a big deal. And yet, at the moment, it is the one place the international news is going, yeah, that's not happening right now. That's a dangerous thing right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's one of their fundamental things.
It's so not
Very
right
confusing.
now. It's so
1984.
Not right now. Oh my God.
Fear is
scary.
a necessity if you're a leader, you know, and
Ron,
an authoritarian at least.
I have family in America, and I've seriously thought like I should go visit them soon because they're getting old, you know. And I've seriously thought I'm not taking this with me. You know, there's no way I'm taking all of the stuff that's on here and giving it to the American government.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Just not going to do it. So yeah, I would probably buy a burner and just leave my laptop and everything else at home.
Yeah, because it's blooming scary.
Yeah, well, just, I mean, first of all, the invasion of privacy of having all of your digital stuff sucked up at the airport entering the country. No, thank you. But then also, like in the week or two that I'm in the US, if someone decides to process all of that stuff that they sucked up, which they can't, I mean, there's way too much data for them to ever process all of it. But if someone's processing that stuff and then maybe they don't want to let me leave, or they want to,
the frightening thing is
you miss your flight, you know.
It's a program. It's swallowing up everybody's data and going, right, race it through this filter, and it's going to ping up the dangerous things.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be specific.
Yeah.
But the people that then get pinged, they're going to go, right, let's have a quick closer look at that. We'll put it through a finer filter.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the ones we really need to worry about.
Quickly.
You've only got to have Raf as a friend and you're fucked.
Quickly, hi to Mr. Nuts. Good to see you, Jimmy. Also, Thornall is asking a question about Buddhism, non sequitur. Do people actually pray to Buddha? Now, pray, the very, very stereotypical, like a lot of people define pray in a lot of different ways, but the very stereotypical way of defining prayer is you are asking a higher being for intercession, right? You're asking God to do you a favor.
Mm.
In Buddhism, there is no God. There are no higher beings. So there is no one you could possibly ever pray to. Buddha was a guy who meditated, and he meditated good, and he achieved some stuff in meditation, and then he taught people how to do it. That's all Buddha is. Now, cultural Buddhism, in a lot of different cultures, Buddhism has become very holy. And when you talk to them about Buddha, they're basically talking about God. And if they talk to me as a Buddhist about their Buddhism, I'm like, we are not doing the same thing at all. So yeah, it's the prayer isn't really a thing. In Buddhism, we say we make wishes, and that's much more of the idea of putting your mind in a positive state for positive things to happen.
I've always found the concept
focusing
of
your own
very strange.
energy. The concept of what?
Bargaining of prayer has always struck me as so very odd. From
me too, but I'm a Buddhist.
Wonderful things about living in New Zealand is that while the Māori culture is very can be very spiritual, they're not necessarily particularly religious because colonies, as a colony, it was very late in the piece, so it wasn't missionary focused. And while the Pacific Islanders are very religious, a lot of missionaries made their way out to the islands. New Zealand isn't so much. So for me, prayer is more of a question for intercession or inspiration. It's like, I have things in my life I need help with, where it's not a specific plea or bargain. It's more of a, can you point me in the right direction? And that tends to be the kind of vibe here for a lot of people. And then we get the really it's not a nice word to say, but that's what I think. Hypocritical religious people who on a Sunday will say, do this, that, and the other, and every other day of the week they go, oh, I'll just ask forgiveness. But I've also been blessed with some wonderful friends who...
They're in power over here, those hypocritical religious people.
Oh, yeah. And yet I work
not even. I mean, like, the only hypocritical religious thing about Trump is that he pretends that he's religious in any way. Like he's zero religious.
Dude, he brought a Bible and like cleared out protesters, like shot tear gas at protesters so he could walk down to a church with a Bible and take a picture in front of it.
With a Bible held upside down.
Yeah.
He was holding the Bible upside down. You're like, dude, have you ever held
I'm
a Bible?
surprised lightning didn't strike, you know? But
whereas I worked for a guy for years who was a really what's the word?
Spiritual?
He was very faithful to the church and did all the really like he tithed part of his earnings, and he was deeply involved with his church. And he was also one of the best people I have ever met in terms of he was very genuine about being a good, kind, caring, giving person. And that was the first time I'd ever met somebody who lived what I believe the Bible is trying to teach people.
That's what the New Testament's all about, is forgiveness,
and
love.
it made me think religion just brings out what those people are.
Sure.
They use the Bible religion can, or they use it to help them fight it.
Religion can make you a better person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
mostly,
I always
if you're
say,
a good person already.
Yeah. I always say the absolute best person I know, one of my close friends here in Berlin, is not religious at all. Any kind of religion. Okay. He's not a Buddhist. He's not a Christian. And he is genuinely the nicest, most generous, do anything for you, caring, like just all of the things that a Christian or a Buddhist aspires to be if they're actually paying attention to their scriptures. That's and it like it has nothing to do with religion. He wasn't raised religious either. His parents are also, I think, atheists. But just a really, really good person.
Well, by living with what most of the religious texts around the world say, because they all say the same thing. Don't be a cunt. Be nice to everybody.
Yep.
It's not hard.
It's a shame that that people think it's hard to do. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not something that should be difficult.
When you say sanctimonious sermon, I assume by the context you're talking about this was like a Buddhist teacher speaking?
No.
We are superior because we do not. Okay. So a Christian preacher was saying Christians are better because they do not pray to Buddha or Confucius. Yeah, I mean, Buddhists don't either. So we also are superior, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
very strange.
So we totally ran the gambit in this meeting today, huh? We hit sex, we hit politics, and we hit religion. What else do we got to hit? Just so we got a trifecta already.
We're all still friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. I mean, this is one of the very, very positive experiences I've had on BookTube, and I'll cite a specific example. Tori is very Christian.
Oh, deeply, yeah.
She's so fucking Christian, and very involved in her church, and very, very strong in her belief and all of that. And she and I are super good friends. We've had some extremely long and detailed conversations about religion. Like, we don't avoid the subject, but we respect each other's position. It's like she's never going to convince me to go to church, and I'm never going to convince her to meditate or like Buddhist meditation. And we're not trying to.
No,
I am genuinely curious. Like, how does your mind work? Why do you think certain things? You know, I like understanding these things about people, and we managed to have these conversations over and over and over again without getting angry at each other about it. You know,
and I look at it as that this gave this man a framework to be good within, in that he now has a fixed community of people that he regularly interacts with, who he can do good things for. And the network of people through his church have given him in return the things that any community should give people, which is community and support and friendship and guidance. And as a concept, as a way of bringing communities together, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The minute the person at the front of the church starts saying, don't do this, don't do the other because of this almighty thing, instead of because it's not right.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually the most basic thing I liked from the beginning, and one of the things that really attracted me to Buddhism. There are no rules in Buddhism. There are no rules at all. There is no heaven. There is no hell. You're not going to be punished because there is no one to punish you, right? All Buddha ever said is there is karma. Here is a detailed explanation of how karma works. If you do certain things, you will get certain results. Go with that knowledge and make yourself suffer if you want, but it would be better if you didn't.
A friend of my sister's said to me once, sometimes you get karma, sometimes you are the karma. I remember thinking, I particularly love that. I hope that I'm bringing good karma to people, because however satisfying it would be, bringing bad karma to somebody somehow shouldn't be as satisfying as it is.
Yeah, and purely by the actual teachings of karma, that's debatable, whether that is even a thing. But Thornall, what I would say, whether it's religion or not, if anyone in a group is saying our group is better because other groups are bad, then it's a good group to avoid.
Yeah.
It's quite different than a lot of Christianity. Rogue, I wouldn't be a Buddhist if I wasn't raised Catholic. I actually ended up becoming a Buddhist largely because I was raised Catholic.
I think Daniel makes a point. You can adopt elements. And I think all religions have something to offer in terms of the way that they're structured. So long as you're living by that basic premise of just be a good person.
Yeah. I mean, that is the most important part, hopefully. Of
nobody should need a list of rules that tells them don't kill someone. Why does that have to be written down? If you need that rule, there is something wrong with you.
Ida, it is a bit different from fuck around and find out, because Buddha actually told you what the results are. So you don't actually have to fuck around and find out. You can if you want to. But a lot of Buddha's teachings were actually kind of like detailed explanations of like, this kind of action will get you this kind of result karmically. This kind of action will get you this other kind of result. So yeah.
But does anybody really get what they deserve, good or otherwise?
Yes, absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah. The big thing about karma, which we don't intuitively get, is it functions on a time scale that we are incapable of perceiving. So like the popular idea of karma, that if I trip someone over, then I'm going to trip over tomorrow, that's bullshit. That doesn't have anything to do with the actual official idea of karma. It has much more to do with a much longer time scale. So you may not see them get what they deserve, but they will.
Yeah, the person who needed to get what they deserve in my life died. So I never got to see them get their karma.
Right. But I mean, at least by the Buddhist idea of karma, integral to it is reincarnation. So what's going on with them in their next life?
Okay. Gotcha. I didn't put that together. All right, cool. I forgot about the reincarnation thing. So it could go down in years.
Yeah, or millennia. I mean,
for me, that's that
time scale is very
touches
big.
into do what you do this life and we'll fix it in the next or after.
Whereas
how do you just treat this life as the one you're going to have and don't be an asshole?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the life you're living. Live this one properly.
That is absolutely the practical effect of Buddhist teachings. Absolutely. But it's all built on I
do usually go with the concept that no one deserves suffering. I try and think of people who have done me harm like I would a rabid dog. You don't torture the dog, you put it down. If somebody is bringing really horrible things to my life, I don't need to be thinking up horrible ways that they need to have problems. I just want them not in my life. So no one really deserves suffering. It would be satisfying to have seen.
Whenever I get into a conversation about deserve, I'm always very focused on the word deserve, because deserve comes from a place of someone giving you something.
Yeah.
And in Buddhism, there's no one that gives you anything. Like, there is no God that gives you a reward, and there is no devil that's going to give you a punishment, right? So deserve. So
where does the energy come from then?
Where does physics come from?
Well, you could argue that all of religion is physics anyway.
You could, but I mean, we accept that physics exists.
Yeah.
As a scientifically minded person without any kind of creator.
And yet so many of the fundamental sciences would argue that there is something unexplainable about physics.
Sure, there's something unexplainable about existence. There's something unexplainable if you go far enough about all of existence. But that doesn't imply the existence of a creator or a devil, you know.
Oh, I'm not arguing that there is. I'm saying that there is a thing. There is something.
Right.
But just because we can't measure it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah. I have never had a lot of any kind of spiritual anything for me is all about personal experience. Like I don't, there are parts of Buddhism where I'm like, that is interesting, but I put it in the kind of maybe box. There are other parts of Buddhism where I'm like, I know that this can be a way of experiencing everything because I have experienced everything that way personally. So you can't give any other person evidence of spirituality.
No, you can't.
It's a personal experience that is evidence for you personally.
As yet. This is why I say I do think that there is something that we just can't measure yet. And until that happens, I can't say that I believe in it because it's not measurable. That doesn't mean we won't one day be able to measure it because, we're humans and we like to pull things apart and see how they work. So.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel, like even with something like that, you don't even need to think on a very large time scale. Like only less than 100 years ago, we had a major depression, economic depression, where a whole bunch of people lost their entire lives. They went from rich to committing suicide. Economic comeuppance happens all the time.
You look at the crashes that we've had just in the last 50 years.
To wait that long. Yeah.
So it's the waiting for the bubble to burst or the shoe to drop, or there's so many expressions. Everyone knows there's a shift to come because that's the nature of being alive.
Back to the question of deserving. I don't think anyone deserves suffering, but I do think a lot of people have caused suffering for themselves.
Oh, yes. And to other people.
Well, that's how you cause suffering to yourself, primarily. So, yeah. Anyway, should we maybe read for a bit instead of blathering on about religion and spirituality and the nature of existence?
We could be here a minute,
Yeah, we already have.
Hey.
Yeah. Let's do a sprint. I might not be able to come back from the sprint, but I got to go pick up, the assholes, the kids at their grandparents. They're teenagers now. They could be called assholes because they are.
That's true. Once you're over 12, you are an asshole.
Oh, yep. That's on their 13th birthday. That's what my cake said to my last kid. It wasn't his name. It was asshole. Happy birthday on the cake. Yep.
That gives some kind of tacit permission, though. So you've got to be careful.
Yeah.
No, they're good kids. So they're good.
Cool.
I'm probably gonna hop off. I got to go get them though. Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm glad I could come on. It's been a minute, buddy. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Good to see you, Derry. Good to see everybody in the comments. I'll be around. All right. Cool. Peace.
Take care of yourself, Dan.
You as well, buddy.
So we'll read until quarter 2. And please mute yourself if you haven't, and enjoy your reading. Oh, I'm apparently still muted.
Yeah, there you are.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Wizard.
Good to see you, Andrew. And Capricious Fox is here too. No.
Casually lurking in the chat. Andrew, if you would like to join us on screen, perhaps message me on Discord. I'd be happy to send you a link.
Oh, excellent. Timing to chapter endings is clearly a gift.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to forget how big Fitz is. When I was away last weekend, the place where I was, they have 3
Normal
cats.
size cats, I'm guessing.
They're normal cats, which to me feel
Midgets.
like malnourished,
Kittens.
weird sized
Yeah.
cats. Like they're tiny, they're like dwarf cats. And I kept seeing them, and like I was there for 5 days. So by the end of it, I was basically used to
You can reacclimatize to normal
Like-
size cats.
midget dwarf cats. And then I got home, and I've got this fucking lion in my
Yeah.
flat. I was like, oh, whoa, that's right. That's what a real cat looks
That's
like.
right.
Yeah,
Funny.
yeah, she's big.
Is she all right
is
with being
big,
left
I
for that many
remember.
days?
Yeah, I had the neighbor's kid, like my neighbor right across the
Mhm.
hall, has a son who lives with her who's 20 something, and he came over twice a
Nice.
day and fed her and played with her and all of that. I'm pretty cold about, or realistic about, I have a cat. I do not have a dog. My cat will eat my corpse tomorrow if I die today.
Because it's smart.
Right? Yeah, and also don't really do emotions the way humans do. You know, like they don't. I'm kind of okay with the fact that having a pet, it doesn't really love you in the way that a
To
human
be
would.
fair, being
you know?
cared for with the potential that they may eat us if we die, so long as we're well cared for, that makes us no different from cattle.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
basically. Yeah,
You know, at least I'm
Yeah.
not going to waste. I mean, you know.
yeah. But I mean, I have had cats. Like generally, when I've had multiple cats throughout my life, generally when you have a cat and you go away on holidays, you get 2 things when you come back. Most cats, what you get is, I'm fucking pissed
Yes.
at you.
I'm now going to ignore
How
you.
could you
Like,
do
you
this to
ignored
me? I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to shit on your pillow. I'm going to puke on the floor every time I eat,
Yeah.
or whatever, you know?
Yep, I'm just going to not be pleasant and let you
And-
know that I didn't like
and
being
Fitz-
abandoned.
Fitz is more what appears to be typically affectionate. Like, as soon as I sat down when I got back, she jumped up on my lap and
To
fell
be fair,
asleep.
She had what we would
and-
call an isolated early life. You know, in terms of human
Well, she was
companionship.
at a breeder, and she was surrounded by other cats and a couple of people. So she wasn't that
And it
isolated.
wasn't a normal loving pet scenario.
No, not at all. No. I basically saved her from, I think she was actually being abused, not by the people, but by the other cats. I think she because she has a lot of food neuroses and like
Interesting fact. You can actually
is
call Fitz a queen.
weird about some things. Yeah.
Any cat that's had kittens is a queen.
She has had 1 litter. Yep,
She's a queen.
exactly. Yes. Ida, it's okay. You are the exception. Your cat loves you. Most cats do not love people.
I don't think you
That's
can
all.
really say that it's not love. It's a different kind of connection. Cats and dogs just do things different. I think there was a study where they said that dogs basically see people as just big dogs, and cats see people as just this weird giant species that they live with.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of shows. Dogs are like, okay, we're family. It's all good. We're going to all care for each other the same. And cats are like, you're weird. I don't understand you. And because they're
Yeah.
smart.
And Fitz is, I would say, compared to all the cats I've ever had, she is much more like a dog
Part of that's
than
yeah.
every other cat. I mean, yeah, the Maine Coons are known for being a very dog-like
Yes.
cat breed. So she doesn't like being in a room I'm not in.
Yep.
She has to be kind of within sight of me all the time.
Yeah,
all of that.
my sister and her partner had a Maine Coon for a lot of years, and he was like that, and he was lovely.
Yeah,
and
she will wake up from a deep sleep to go into the room I just went into if I'm not where I was before,
and then curl up and go back to sleep.
You know, and then curl up and go back to sleep, or just follow me around until I settle back where I was, or whatever. But if I just like get up and go into the kitchen, she will come into the kitchen and be like, "What are you doing in the kitchen? Are you going to feed me?
You're in the kitchen. There's food here. Just a hint."
Oh, okay. You're going back in the office. Okay, cool. I'll follow you back into the office, and then if I sit down for a few minutes, she'll sit down and fall asleep again. Rogue. I assume you mean when am I getting back to LPQ, not why. And I don't consider it a personal favor that you are reading Sun Eater or The City Watch. So I feel no compulsion or debt to be paid to get back to LPQ.
Does, however, make me happy
mate.
that you're reading Discworld. So
I like it. I have no problem with it. I think it's nice. Sun Eater doesn't even rank on my top 100 SFF. I mean, I liked it. It hit me at a good time. So I sort of raced through it and read quite a lot of it quite quickly. But I wouldn't put it's a very inconsistent series is my feeling. So I wouldn't put it in my top 10. But I love City Watch, but I'm only halfway through. But when am I getting back to LPQ? Soonish. I don't know. It depends on which friends who are pressuring me to read something I decide to listen to.
Then I shall feel flattered that you're reading the City Watch.
I will finish this. I'm about a third of the way through this, and I'm liking it. I've been wanting to read some Paul Auster, actually. There is some Paul Auster I haven't read. I had kind of a phase where I read all of his books, and then since then I haven't read hardly any of his books. And there's this one, Man in the Dark, which I haven't read, which is very, I mean,
that's not a real book, Matt.
It's kind of a novella. I'm not sure what the official novella definition is, but it's 180 pages. So I can read that in a day, no problem. But then I've also got 4321, which is like 650 pages. It's the biggest book he ever read. It's as big as like his 3 other biggest books. So I'll get to that eventually as well. But also I've got the Unconsoled by Katsuo Ishiguro, which is the next in the pub order read that I'm doing of his stuff, which I'd like to get to.
There's never an end to the list, is there?
No. I've also got Fitz and the Fool trilogy, which Evie and Derry would be very happy if I read, and I'm looking forward to.
More to the point, you will be happy that you've read it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to those. I've also got Fifth Elephant, which is next in the City Watch.
My favorite City Watch.
Okay, I think Tori said that too. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I've also got the last 3 LPQ books. You're correct, Rogue. So yes, I want to get to those. I wanted to. Where is it?
That's when I added the book I finished yesterday to my reading spreadsheet. I have, as of 2/3 of the way through July, reached almost the same statistics as all of last year.
Nice.
73 books,
wow.
Which is how many I read last year, and the same ratio of new to rereads. I'm like, okay, clearly I'm in a better place this year than I was last year.
I think my reading so far this year is about the opposite of what you just described. I think in the first 6 months of this year, I've read what I read in 2 or 3 months of last year. I've been reading much slower.
I think for me, part of it is finding the comfort reads again for my finding new books by authors I already know in worlds I already know. So I get to do new books that are comfortable. And so, yeah, that's fun.
Right.
Because new books can be hard. And so I tend to fall for like just brain fluff, romantasy stuff, paranormal fantasy. And so, yeah, and it's not quite the same as an author that you know you can trust and just go with.
Yes, that's true. Britton said earlier, which I couldn't find, that he's reading and a good way through Gardens of the Moon, which is something I'm always excited to hear, that somebody is reading Malazan for the first time. And Britton's been promising to read it he's been promising for like over a year to get started on it. And apparently it's turned him off fantasy completely. No. That's not how I understand this comment. But
Britain's
it's
more
good to
varied
see
in his
people
reading
getting
in general. You know, he reads comics and manga and that kind of thing. So, you know, he's got a more eclectic kind of reading habit anyway. But Arnold's favorite is
he's just a bit burned out on fantasy right now, but enjoying it. Gardens, that is. That is good to hear. And just so you know, Britton, a lot of people would say that Gardens is the worst book.
Well, that's a good sign then.
Or the least awesome book. Saying worst makes it sound like it's bad, and it's not at all bad.
Yeah, we've got to find a way to describe that. The weakest in a great bunch.
Yeah. Nobody rates Gardens as their number one of the 10 Malazan Book of the Fallen books.
See, that's the difference with Rainwilds, because there are people that count Rainwilds as their favorite.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say Gardens of the Moon is my absolute favorite. But it's good. No question. It's really good.
Even better.
But it's weaker than things that come after it. Thornall also liked the Fifth Elephant the most.
It's funny you say the
Whatever
Fifth
has the
Element,
most
because
angle.
on my official Discworld reading order, it says the Fifth Element.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Very different from the book, I'm assuming. Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah,
but yeah, makes me happy.
Yeah. I've actually been thinking I would like to read more outside of science fiction and fantasy. I would like to read more science fiction.
I've got a mystery suspense lined up from an author I know. I normally read her paranormal fantasy, and I love them. This is Nalini Singh.
Yeah.
Like, I've just read book 17 of one of her series, and I'm about to read book 20-something, but it's really only book 7, but it's like a branch off series. Anyway, and she started writing suspense mystery books a couple of years ago, so I thought I'd give them a go.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah, I haven't. I used to, a long time ago, I used to read, I'm trying to even remember what they were, but I know that I read some crime mystery kind of stuff, but it's been a while. I've never really read much horror, but I do have it on my list.
Have you not read it?
No, I have not read it.
I love it.
I've read.
It's one of my favorites.
I've read the other really long one, The Stand,
which I also love.
Which I quite liked.
Love The Stand.
But I haven't read it, and it's almost gotten to the point where I know so much about it from cultural reference that I really should. You really should. And also, I've just heard from almost everyone that it's amazing.
Well, it's not so much amazing as that it's just its own thing.
Right.
And it has all of the things that Stephen King is so good at. You know, it's that group of kids, and it's a town, and you get to know everyone, and he's just so good at that. And then you add
I've read very little read very little King. I've read The Stand. I've read The Dark Tower twice, all of
See, I
them,
haven't read The Dark Tower,
and some of the short stories. The Dark Tower is
and
really,
this is the thing. Everyone says it's its own thing. That's like,
it is totally
Yeah.
its own thing. It is. I wouldn't even know which genre to try and put
Yeah.
it in. It definitely has horror bits. It definitely has fantasy bits. It definitely has sci-fi bits. It definitely
yeah,
has
because he does all of those things.
not any of those at all bits. It has Western bits. It's totally its own thing, and it's also like if you have 10 children and one of them's like ugly and sort of a bit mentally deficient, but you love them because they are what they are. That's The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower is by no means a masterpiece. It's a mess.
Yeah, there's something about it.
It's super inconsistent and weird, and he does all sorts of meta shit that he probably shouldn't have done, and like it's
Well, I can recommend it.
It's
It's
kind of a problematic series, but it's so good.
Stephen
Like,
King
I
can
just
tell a
love The
story.
Dark Tower.
He's a storyteller. That's what I see him as,
Yeah.
rather than a writer. He's a storyteller that happens
Yeah.
to write down his stories.
Yeah.
So the writing
Yeah.
isn't always going to be brilliant, but the story is going to be amazing. And that's what I found every time I've read a Stephen King book.
Yeah.
And it is just, it's unique in the way it does two timelines of the same people. And I was really young when I read it the first time, and it took me a little while to sort of wrap my head around how he was doing these shifts in time. And as soon as I did, I was in. And I was hooked. I was like, okay, right, I know what's happening now. Okay. And it's
that's the thing with King, what I've read of him, that he does. I mean, obviously, like, coming of age stories are totally his jam, and he's really good at it. Nostalgia for an American 60s, 50s, 70s kind of period, which I can kind of relate to because that's when I was born and where I was born. Also totally his jam.
Like, it really is a story that has just played to all of his strengths, and it's why it's considered such an amazing book, because it's everything he's good at.
But the thing that sets him apart from every other author I've ever read, like, not every other author, but something he does better than a lot of authors, is I can get so into one of his stories. Like, where I just completely lose myself in the story.
He's a storyteller. He knows how to bring you in.
And I have a hard time stopping, because I'm just like so in and so invested in these characters and what's going on. And, he's really, really good. And I've only read, like, I'm not Josh, I've only read a very, very little bit. I don't class myself
as someone who's read a lot of Stephen King, but I've read enough that I'm confident in saying the man knows how to tell a story. And I have never read anybody who can write a community the way that he does. When you are in one of his places, you feel like you know the town. You feel like you've got the vibe. You're like, yep, I know where I am. And it is incredibly grounding, because then he tells you the story. And, and then The Shining, Mitch saying The Shining is still his favorite. And
his favorite,
that is possibly, because obviously I knew the movie before I read the book, and very, very different. And I read the book, and of all of Stephen King's, it's the one that is the most disturbing to me. Not for any of the horror elements, but because he wrote an alcoholic so well, and how frightened his child is of the character, and having lived that as a child, reading that was incredibly triggering. He got it so right that I was genuinely disturbed by reading it.
He does that over and over again in a lot of different places. He writes horror without any monster, without any supernatural or anything like that, but it's still horrific.
But he gets also,
and there are bits and pieces of that all through the Dark Tower as well, where there's just like horrible normal situations that people are in.
And he's able to give the weight of that the dread of what someone knows might come. And you may never actually see it in the book, but you know that the potential for it is there. And the weight of carrying that anticipatory dread is there. And not a lot of authors can do that, can give you that sense of, that could happen.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't, it could still happen tomorrow.
He's great at atmosphere.
Really great.
Like building a certain kind of atmosphere and tension through that atmosphere as well. He's really
Get in people's heads. I love his psychological horror because he gets really good at making the thing scary for that specific character. It's something that character in particular finds terrifying. And yet this character is fine with it, but something else is really terrifying to that character.
Yeah.
And
I've read some of his not that many, but some of his short stories. I don't remember which collections. It's been years, but
he's so good. I love his stories.
One of them, I think it's called The Ledge.
Okay, I don't think I know that one.
It's called The Ledge. And it was a story with no weird anything, no supernatural
and quite a few
anything.
Of his books are like that.
And it basically only involves two characters in this short story. And it was fucking disturbing and terrifying. You know, the whole thing. And there's no weird anything in it. It's just two people being people.
And people are the scariest
And
thing.
one of those people is kind of broken and messed up. And
I see this criticism a lot, though. Ron's just said that the King is often very bad at endings.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot. I've actually never read a King book where it's ended and I've gone, I've always gone, okay, yeah, I see how we got there. That's how the story needed to end.
It's very divisive. The end of The Dark Tower, I think the majority of people hate it. And we're super disappointed and angry. And I read it and I was like, how else could this have ended?
That always makes me want to ask,
like,
of the people whose opinions we know, did they have to wait for that book? And I say that being part of the Song of Ice and Fire zeitgeist and knowing that there are uber geeks and who have pretty much built in their heads how they're sure it's going to go. And there are people who just accept the books that come and like, excellent, I wonder what happens. And the people who are going to be disappointed, if anybody, is going to be the uber geeks. It's going to be the ones that have thought it through in their heads and think they know where it's going. And if it's something different,
I think specifically with The Dark Tower, I think the problem for a lot of people with the ending is it's not satisfying. There are sort of desires you build up throughout this very long story, desires for certain kinds of character arcs and desires for certain kinds of closure or achievements or whatever for the characters. And you don't get those.
I think that's part of him as storyteller, because that's quite an old-fashioned way of telling a story, of leaving it open, of being able to go, and there may be another chapter. We don't know. The story continues.
To me, without getting into spoilers, it's hard to say exactly what I mean, but there is a theme throughout the entire Dark Tower, which is very central to everything. And that theme is the ending. That theme is how it dictates the ending. And you couldn't do that theme as an ending
unless you ended it the way you ended.
Give everybody all sorts of things that they want.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, it always feels, I mean, this sounds very judgmental. I guess it is very judgmental. It always sounds really immature to me when people hate the ending of Dark Tower. Because I'm like, you're just looking for a fairy tale. And it's so fucking obviously not a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a book. Like, when in any of these books did King give you the feeling that he was going to satisfy your childish desires?
Had a happy ending. You haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how could you possibly have thought this would end any other way?
I wonder then, is this because the people who read King is so much wider than the people who read fantasy? who read King, or the people who read, science fiction who read King, people who read general, airport books read King, and they do expect a wrap up with a happy ending, and that's the norm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wonder if
they're less mature as readers.
I wonder if
maybe,
it's just an expectation.
Speaking of less mature,
hello.
Here's Pete.
How is life on the commune?
How you doing, man?
Life is great. I found a local bookstore today, and I am going to pre-order everything through them now, which is great.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I was out having lunch with my mother, and we came across this bookstore, and I'm like, oh snap, I have a list. So like, she dropped me off in my car. I ran back home, checked my spreadsheet, figured out, had to go to Barnes & Noble, check which I had already on pre-order, and then came back with a list.
Awesome.
Like,
what a great day.
It's a beautiful day.
I am actually going to my local. I mean, it's not that local. Like it's about 45 minutes or an hour away. It's still in the same city, but Berlin's big. Otherland, I'm going to them tomorrow to pick up some pre-ordered stuff. They are pretty much without a doubt the best fantasy science fiction bookstore in the country.
Nice.
I mean, where else would it be other than Berlin, And yeah, I'm looking forward to, I haven't been there in a little while. It's good to have a nice actual physical bookstore that isn't a giant chain like Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, we've only got the big chains, really. It's rare to find an independent bookstore. And the one I frequent the most is a second-hand place in the city, so...
This is, I mentioned it before, but like the price control on book selling in Germany
is awesome.
It means that we don't have giant chain bookstores
they can't take advantage of the gouging
anywhere because there's no point,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good.
And it means like small stores like Otherland, where I'm going tomorrow, survive.
That's right.
And don't get buried by Barnes & Nobles and things like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, congratulations, Ron. It's really nice to have one.
Sure. And I went into another one that was interesting. It was a used bookstore. And like you guys have seen my Tetris. Imagine that, but like every single corner, like books stacked from floor to ceiling. Like we walk in and he's like, have you been here before? Okay, no. So if you want a book from a stack, please talk to me. Otherwise,
please
we'll
don't
fall
try
over.
and take it.
Don't topple our stacks.
Topple my stacks. Very military and historically focused for a used bookstore. So it feels like it was very. It feels like especially the proprietor who was running it. It feels like this guy was really into history, and then he had to start selling stuff. So his wife was like, "This is too much. You have to start selling it." And he kept collecting at the same time. There's some really nice stuff.
Although that seems like an oddly common thing in used bookstores. I've been in so many used bookstores in different countries, and they have huge military specifically, and then just history in general sections.
I feel like after World War II,
in general,
the generation after World War II, and I think this is probably pretty common between Europe and America.
Right.
That generation got kind of obsessed with military history.
Yeah.
And then they died, and their children sold their books to used bookstores.
Some of the kids still got the bug, right? Like my dad is kind of got the bug a little bit as well, because like my step grandfather was in the Korean War and stuff like that. He loved talking to him about that, stuff like that. So
Fox, just quickly, is Fiends of Nightmaria
I think it's a
Boak Lane and Corbel Brooch? That's a Boak Lane and Corbel Brooch.
I know it's a short story collection.
I don't think it's a short story collection. I think it's a novella, isn't it? It's one of the Boak Lane because there are 6.
There's 2 different books called Fiends of Nightmaria. There's the actual, I think, because there's the one that was published recently. It is a novella from Corbin Boak
Lane and Corbel Brooch. Yeah,
the 2 funny ones.
Yes, the funny necromancers. The Funny, Terrifying Necromancers. Yes.
Book details and editions. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
I have. I mean, what I have is the two essentially bind ups of the novellas.
Yeah.
I forget what they're called individually, but there are two that have all of the Beauclerk and Corbel Broach novellas.
Both called Tales of Beauclerk and Corbel Broach.
Yeah,
I have the first one. I still need to find the second one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Collected Tales. Rita said, "Hey, it's Tori."
Yay!
Yeah.
Must have heard us talking about you earlier, and how awesome you are.
Yeah, I mean, if you found a local bookstore that has Fiends of Nightmaria and it's not a crazy price, and you're into that stuff, I would pick it up.
On that.
Yeah. Rogue, what do I think you'll like more? City of Last Chances or Spear Cuts Through Water? Hard to say. To be honest, I don't know really well your specific tastes, Rogue. I mean, I'll tell you why I liked each of them. Spear Cuts Through Water, I really liked because it has a very interesting structure. It uses first, second, and third person, which is also quite interesting. It's got a very mythological feel to it. So like the story and what's going on in the story feels like some sort of a mythology. And it's just extremely good writing. It's extremely, extremely good writing. City of Last Chances is also extremely good writing. It's a book where I thought, okay, Tchaikovsky's writing has leveled up. It's really, really excellent prose. And it's got amazingly interesting characters, and it's got super, super imaginative world building.
Nice.
So, would I recommend that you read both? Yes. So just do that, and that solves your problem.
And then you can tell us which you preferred, which will help us with the next time we need to recommend something.
Exactly. Yeah. Fox, multiple what? Multiple Beauclerk and Corbel Broach novellas. I think, based on these two collections, the ones I have, I think there are 5 or 6. Edith says there are 8. I'm not sure where she's getting that from.
This local bookshop is awesome.
But
the CJ Cherry fantasy book she's been looking for.
Via pictures of the handwritten man. Wait, this is Mitch saying this.
Which
the previous comment from Mitch.
Yeah, I was thinking that this was serious.
Yes. Handwritten manuscript he posted on. Yeah, exactly. He took photos with his phone of the manuscript and posted them on.
Talking about Rabid, Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire fans, it could have been a picture of a computer screen that's mirrored with some text recognizable on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sure he'll write one more.
So you're just saying that there are, and make another collection.
I got to find the second collection still. I think I already said that.
Yeah, I've got the 2. I didn't realize there were more novellas that were not in any collection yet. Okay, good to know. What's CJ Cherry fantasy, Fox? I am a CJ Cherry fan, but I've only read her science fiction. I've read the Chandra books, and I've read the first couple Foreigner books. She's another one. You were talking, Derry, earlier about Mercedes Lackey, and it reminded me of CJ Cherry, because CJ Cherry's got a series called Foreigner, which is sort of an alien-human relationship book or series, where a guy is an ambassador of humanity, and he gets posted to an alien culture, and she's written 22 of them. It's just like this massissive ongoing series. She just brought out one last year, I think.
And McCaffrey did a similar series, The Tower and Hive. It began as like a soft sci-fi about people with paranormal abilities, with telekinesis and telekinetic abilities. And then, of course, as humans, we explore the stars and we bump into aliens. So, and that's in like book 2. So, and then it becomes this big,
Good afternoon, Viviana. Welcome to the Sunday Pub.
You too.
Sounds like it's your first time here.
Welcome to the pub.
Welcome.
We talk about weird stuff.
Always good to do. We talk about everything.
We have literally hit on the big three today.
Yeah, exactly. Earlier in the first half of the pub before the sprint, we talked about sex, we talked about religion, and we talked about, what was the other one? Politics.
Yep, the big three.
So we covered kind of everything.
Someone earlier was saying there would be
The Valley of the Horses. What is that is a familiar name, but I don't remember what it is. Valley of the Horses.
weird.
I know I've heard of that. Can't remember what it is though.
Clan of the Cave Bear.
Oh, Clan of the Cave Bear. Okay.
Or
Yeah. So you like your pseudo history with a bit of soft porn, apparently.
I think
It's pretty smutty. Yeah, as Ida says. Yeah, I remember those. That's what I thought it was. Valley of the Horses is one of the Clan of the Cave Bear books. Yeah. Clan of the Cave Bear is like prehistoric novel story of clans and all of that, and it's very porny stuff.
Earlier,
sequel to the Clan of the Cave Bear. Yeah. Okay.
There was the comment, someone's reading Claire Keegan. And is that the author that wrote, I can't even think of the name of it now. This is a terrible segue. BookTube were talking about them. And there's a movie with Cillian Murphy about to come out, or has just come out.
Oh, I like Cillian Murphy.
Claire Keegan with 2 E's.
Yes.
Small things like these.
I'll watch.
Foster.
Small things like these. Yeah.
I'll watch basically anything with Cillian
This is
Murphy.
why I mentioned it. I know you're a fan.
He's really good. Yeah, I just rewatched some of Peaky Blinders recently, and oh my god,
he's just so good.
He's so good in that. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Fox wasn't looking for for fantasy CJ Cherry. He was looking for Foreigner number 22.
Excellent.
Yeah, she was looking for Foreigner number 22. Yeah, I did. I got a bit of the way. I think I read 2 or 3 of the Foreigner books, and I quite liked them. But I never continued with them for some reason. This is a long time ago as well. There were probably only 8 of them at the time. Very long time ago.
Clearly, some time has passed.
Yeah. Yeah. Rogue read Small Things Like These a few weeks ago and says it was excellent. Okay, cool. Nice. What are you reading?
Parable
Pete?
of the Sower.
Oh, how you going?
Okay, so that's why you're Ponderings of Parables. Right. And
it's good. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting into it because of how some things are like worded. So like me being a Christian versus her talking about like God is this and that. Just the wording that she uses is a little bit tricky for me to get into and getting into the mindset of it. But other than that, it's pretty good. I think something recently just clicked for me as I was thinking about it, and I'd almost worth like going back from the beginning and actually like trying to view it with this different lens. So
I'm a fan of reading stuff through different lenses. Mm-hmm. It can completely change your experience. So
yeah,
it's always worth listening to somebody who does take things differently than you. If you're bouncing off something, you're like, just checking, is this a me problem or is this a book problem? So
yeah, and I mean, I personally always find that really, really interesting. Like imagined religions or imagined religious views and stuff in science fiction or also in fantasy. But I don't have any conflicting views about God myself. So I don't have to adjust that because I'm like, I don't believe in any of that stuff. So it's all theoretical to me anyway. So it's interesting. I always
wonder if it's intentional, if it's intended to cause conflict in a reader when religion is included.
Oh yeah.
And to what level?
I would think so.
And then I get lost on a big thought train of why would they do that? What would be?
I just find it interesting.
Yeah, and like that's kind of
I'm really interested to read those. I've had those on my list for a long time.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's definitely looks at like, and this is the theory, but I haven't necessarily confirmed that because this is the part I need to kind of like reread. But I feel like it's kind of showing how her belief system was shaped by the world around her.
Okay.
Because she's a preacher's kid, right?
Yeah.
And in this kind of post-apocalyptic version of 2025 that was written many, many moons ago.
Okay.
And it's kind of her developing this religion called Earthseed, sorry, not Earthsea.
It's so like anytime anyone talks about that series, it's always like, wait a sec, are you talking about Le Guin?
Right.
Or Butler?
Butler.
Are you, wait, you just said it again. Did you say Earthseed?
Yeah.
Or Earthseed?
But yeah, it's very much about how it feels very much about how how this has been shaped by the world around her and the post-apocalyptic kind of vibe that it's. And I wouldn't even call it post-apocalyptic, at least where I'm at about halfway through. It feels more like on the brink of a post-apocalyptic because there's enough normalcy left in the world. Hey, Tori.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Cool.
Pretty good.
But yeah, there's enough like normalcy left in the world that it's just like slightly it's like kind of like an uncanny a window viewed like through a glass darkly or something. There's a saying that I'm trying to recover, but
Something like that.
Just through a glass darkly.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Cool.
What about you, Tori? What are you reading?
Nice. I'm super interested in those. Yeah. What are you reading, Tori?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep, I'm about. I keep forgetting where my camera is now that it's not on my computer. Quarter of the way through.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got past the first section, Pete.
Haha. How's it going?
Not bad, actually. Like there are some people that don't like the singular focus of the beginning of book 4, and I'm not really supremely bothered by it at this point, so that's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I need to get back to those. I waffled the first book.
Yeah. So did I.
I don't know what it was because I was enjoying the prose, I was enjoying the weirdness, I was enjoying the imaginative world building. I was enjoying kind of being irritated all the time at the main character. And it just, I wasn't getting into it somehow. I put it down before I finished.
I liked book 2 more than I liked book 1. So I don't know if that will be true for you too if you get to it, but I'm also reading it because it's my husband's one of like his favorite fantasy series now. So
that doesn't surprise me. It sounds like Ben.
Thomas Senlin, the protagonist, there were moments where I was reading any of the books and it would get like eerie sometimes, the decisions and things that Senlin would say or do, and I'm like, it's really weird to feel like you're like in a metaphysical kind of way married to the main character. It's a little weird. But after I read the first book, I remember sitting down with Ben and just being like, I can completely understand why you related to this character.
The main thing I got out of it is I want to live in a world with beer carousels.
Beer carousels.
Do we?
Yeah.
No.
No, I mean it's actually it's one of the most dystopian symbols in the entire book. But I thought, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
You ride a little bike for a minute and then you get a whole bunch of beer.
Yeah.
Sounds all right. I don't have any problem with that.
See,
take it devoid
Yeah.
of context and slap it in there. It's
Sure.
fine.
I have yet to meet
exactly.
a beer that I actually liked. So
I prefer a cider myself.
More for us.
I'm just not a beer person.
Yeah.
Tastes like dirty
Yeah,
dishwater
I'm
to me
totally a
every
beer
time.
person. Well,
My mother was prescribed
Yeah,
Guinness when she was pregnant with me, so I have to have some liking for beer.
It's in your veins. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. explains everything.
I don't know if I should be offended by that or not.
I'm actually surprised to see so many people mentioning
CJ
CJ
Cherry.
Cherry.
I'm really pleased. I'm loving that more people are
I'm
starting
excited to
Faded
read
the
Sun.
older writers.
I just
Read the Morgaine series, which is technically sci-fi but reads like fantasy, which is kind of Cherry's thing.
It's that whole time. The separation of fantasy
yeah.
sci-fi is really new.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I read
Some degree,
I mean,
yeah, I recently read Le Guin's first sci-fi that she wrote, Rokanan's World.
Mhm.
And it is, I would call it more fantasy than sci-fi because the story itself is completely fantasy. The setting is almost fantasy with a little bit of sci-fi, right? The main character is from another world. He is from a advanced society. It's like a guy from Star Trek crashed down and has to go on a quest to save this fantasy world from these people that may inadvertently bring a sci-fi world onto this world.
Well, there you go.
Like it's very
Okay.
like the whole quest narrative is so fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull a theory completely out of my ass, having done absolutely no study or
You're a
analysis
booktuber, it's allowed.
to back it up. I'm a booktuber.
I was
I'm
just about to
licensed
say the
do
same
this.
thing.
Yeah. I would disagree with what you said,
Okay,
Jerry,
you're allowed.
that the separation between sci-fi and fantasy is a new thing, because back in the day when CJ Cherry would, like early CJ Cherry days, lots of people were writing hard sci-fi that was only sci-fi, and there wasn't even a scrap or a hint
I'm
of
not
fantasy
saying it
to
wasn't happening.
But the theory that I'm pulling out of my ass with no research or analysis is maybe back in those days, like early sci-fi, 60s, 70s, 80s, a lot of women authors, female authors, were writing things where the line was a lot more blurred, and a lot of the male authors, a lot of whom were actually scientists and engineers to start with anyway, were writing much more this is absolutely sci-fi and there is no
But
magic.
this is where I'm saying that
you
the
know?
separation is relatively new. It was a result of those authors going, we're not doing the fantasy bit. That kind of created the separateness that we see now. And the rest of the authors just went, but I was doing both.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop doing that.
Where are you going to put my books on the shelf?
Romantasy.
So Rokanan's World.
Yeah, good point,
really
Mitch.
reminded
Elder
me of
Race is very sci-fi fantasy.
So
Oh, okay.
it feels to me
Okay.
like that the bits and pieces of the bones of Elder Race is in Rokanan's World. I'd be surprised if Adrian Tchaikovsky hasn't read Rokanan's World, honestly. And
you know what I'm surprised by? Every time I ask Adrian if he's read something, he hasn't.
really,
And I'm like, what? Yeah, there are so many things where, like, I'll be reading one of his books and I'm like, oh, this is clearly inspired by. And I text him and I'm like,
When
dude,
did you read that?
did you kind of get this from, like, was this inspired? And he's like, no, I haven't read that. Like, what?
Maybe that's just the standard answer.
So you just sort of came up with this, and you didn't know that this is kind of straight out of this other
look,
thing that was written
we could go with
40 years ago?
Ursula K. Le Guin's theory that everybody is reaching into this. Oh gosh, I can't remember the words now. Inner consciousness of fantasy, sci-fi, and stories and stuff. Gosh, that's such a bad way to describe it.
There's also a scientific term for it when people invent. It's called simultaneous inspiration or something.
Yeah.
When people like radio was invented on different parts of
At
the
about
planet at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, by
Wow.
totally different people who had absolutely no contact
You
with
can
each other.
look at it in movies in the last 30 years. How many years till we get a really unusual premise for a film, but there'll be two of them from different studios? A city with a volcano, or I don't know,
Mars Landing.
there's
Mars Landing, or animated movies about bugs.
it happens so often. It's really, really strange.
Yeah.
since we're talking about older authors in the fantasy genre,
Yes, Ron, I know it's more complicated than that. It was a theory out of my ass.
Clearly nothing good.
Sorry,
no,
Tori,
you're
go
fine.
ahead.
I have to show off a new book. This is the one book I've broken my book buying ban for because I just had it and I needed to order it finally because it's been on my TBR for a ridiculous amount of time. And that was Black Sun Rising by C.S. Friedman, and I was able to get a nice hardcover edition of it. And I'm very excited about it. Mm-hmm.
Very exciting.
So, yeah.
There's something just so
Continuing
cool
my-
about those covers. Those like.
Can anyone translate what Viviana wrote? Because it has a word in it that I'm concerned about. A little racist.
I know. I'm not sure.
Tipo?
If I want to know.
I don't know what that means. It's more of a question of like, is this something offensive that I should ban her for, or can it be left as is? Would you like to translate that for us, Viviana?
But yes.
Google's telling me it's saying that this guy is a little bit racist, but I wonder who.
Are you talking about me, Viviana? I'd be very curious as to why you would be talking about me.
Maybe
or anybody else here. Maybe. I don't. Nothing I've heard in the last, since we started tonight, would make me think anyone
we all know that everyone
or
here
anything
isn't,
we've been
so.
talking about is a bit racist. Yeah.
Very strange.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see my rag, Tori?
I did. It looks so good now that it's done.
I'm so proud of it.
You should be. It's amazing.
So proud of it.
And I love that you did it as a wall hanging.
Well, I didn't. I just wanted to show off because I made it.
So
She just hung it on the wall so that we could see it.
It's like a tapestry.
I'm just so proud of it. As a first attempt at something for it to have worked, I'm just so freaking happy. I had to learn how to service my sewing machine.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
I got bonus skills out of doing it.
Nice.
We love
Bonus skills are awesome.
Bonus skills.
Yes.
So my sewing machine is now running wonderfully. And
Cool.
I know how to make nice rugs. And I reupholstered a footstool, which is just easy. That's just stapling.
So productive.
So now I have this lovely little place with my chair and my stool, and now I have to rearrange my entire room because I've got a nice rug that I need to make the focus. So that's a me thing, though.
I feel like I've done nothing in the last month.
I haven't done much else, though. Let's be honest, Matt. I've barely been.
I've watched a lot of series. I went to the cinema
What did you see?
for the first time in a while. Superman.
Oh, it's the new one. Is it good? Everyone
Superman.
I know of that's seen it thinks it's great.
It is surprisingly good. I went in with one of my best friends, Jason, is like super up on all of the superhero stuff. He's been reading comics like for a century and knows, like, if I have any questions about, like, wait a sec, okay, so the Marvel thing that they did with Thanos and what, he can explain it all. He knows all this stuff. So we went and saw it. And I was like, I have no expectations. My only attitude going into it was I thought that Henry Cavill looked like he should be Superman, and this new guy looks less like he should be Superman. But otherwise, I was like, I have no real opinion about any of it. And it was surprisingly good.
Nice.
I was really happy with it. It was hard to put my finger on it. Like Marvel superhero movies, a lot of them have a very particular kind of humor in them. And this one, I mean, it's a DC movie, right? And DC has been kind of notoriously bad for a long time.
Well, they keep leaning too hard.
And has had a couple of
we're
like
really
an okay movie. Yeah, and they just, I love DC Comics. Like, I was always a fan of, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern. There's a lot of DC superheroes I always liked, but the movies overall have just been kind of like, in 1978, seeing Superman with Christopher Reeve was
that's
epic.
a biography worth reading.
Like that was such a good Superman. back in the day. Like, it looks kind of cheesy and corny now if you watch it, but like as a kid watching that in 78 when I was 8 years old, that was pretty epic. But the new one is funny in a silly way, and it has
thank goodness.
It has a kind of humor that was very different from Marvel things, and it felt much more innocent and less
That's
cynical.
what it's needed to be for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
Superman. Is that naivety?
The previous Superman, which was Henry Cavill, the movie that he was in was just unnecessarily dark. I was like, I don't feel like you've understood who Superman is.
That's why I'm like, yes, Superman
what
needs
Superman
to be a little
is,
bit silly
you know?
because he's an alien and he's trying to be the good guy. And of course he's going to be over the top cheesy. And I mean, this is...
He grew up on a farm in Kansas. There's nothing cynical about him. Like,
so I like this. This makes me happy. I shall be trying to see it.
It was really good. The only complaint I had was there are a few moments where someone is monologuing, and the monologues are really dumb writing, really flat writing. Like as soon as the monologuing started, I was like, "What?" Like there was a lot of really good dialogue.
Oh yeah,
writing,
absolutely.
But then the monologue got silly.
But as soon as somebody started monologuing, you're like, so you're just, what you're saying is your audience, am an idiot, and you are re-explaining to me everything I've understood in this movie in a monologue. Thank you.
I feel like there's a little bit of that.
Their audience is younger than usual, or should be.
I feel like there's a little bit of that in a lot of regular modern stuff where they try to over-explain stuff to you.
Any mainstream movie, there is something where it's like, just in case you missed it all.
For all of you in the audience, annoying the people with you, going, "What just happened?"
Mm-hmm.
But overall,
everyone has that friend. Come on, I can't be the only one.
Two thumbs up. That it was a good Superman. Brilliant. And Nathan Fillion playing the dumbest Green Lantern.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Surely. Yeah.
Guy Gardner, for those of you who know Green Lantern in the comics, Green Lantern, or for those of you who don't know, Green Lantern is basically an intergalactic police force, and different people get given a ring, a Green Lantern ring, and they get assigned to a planet. And Earth, of course, because Earth's special, Earth has had many Green Lanterns, often at the same time. Doesn't really make any sense, but there are reasons. And one of them is this complete asshole of a guy who's actually kind of a bully and rude, and
perfect.
He's a bit of a dick, named Guy Gardner, and he becomes a Green Lantern, and Nathan Fillion plays him in the movie.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for everything I've heard about the Lantern series that's going to come out.
I'm really curious because there have been some really bad Green Lantern films. In fact, all Green Lantern films have been really bad. And doing Green Lantern TV series with a low budget, and Green Lantern on a lower budget as a TV series, I was immediately like,
that would also
this could go really wrong. But
let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's true. So
yeah.
What was the other Green Lantern movie? All I remember is the Ryan Reynolds one. Was there another live action one that I'm misremembering?
I'm just gonna make sure I'm not talking up my ass
again. TV show. I don't know.
Like there's the TV shows, and there's definitely one or two animated movies that I haven't heard anything like.
I just love the idea of Nathan Fillion playing that one.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a Jon Stewart story, which is what I'm excited about because we haven't seen them actually try.
Well, and not only a Jon Stewart story, but a Jon Stewart Hal Jordan story.
That's exciting.
And the two of them together should be interesting because Hal Jordan's a dick, kind of. But he's the the nice white Green Lantern that everybody had for a long time, and then you got John Stewart, who was a black Green Lantern, which was awesome. And yeah, exactly, Marianne. Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, and John Stewart.
Yeah. Nice.
And yeah, Hal Jordan and John Stewart are in the series, and Guy Gardner's in the Superman movie. And John Stewart was, I mean, the coolest thing about John Stewart, other than yes, finally give us some black superheroes,
Yes.
was he was so much better than Hal Jordan. He was so much better as a Green Lantern than Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan was the biggest ego asshole in the world, other than Guy Gardner. Anyway, enough Green Lantern nerdery.
I had to say, we're talking briefly about Henry Cavill. I don't even remember what he said. There was a Facebook reel that came up and Henry Cavill was in it. And I posted it on my Facebook page and just said, I am ashamed. I objectified that man so much in whatever it was he was saying in that. I was like, oh my God, I am the worst person ever. Because I literally looked at this reel and I would lick you. And then I heard myself and I thought, oh, you totally just objectified that man. That is not okay.
He's a very pretty man.
There was no way I could have stopped that reaction. I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly, Ron. I am also old enough to remember when having a black Green Lantern. Like, I grew up, Hal Jordan was Green Lantern. Yeah. Like, at that time, a black Green Lantern was inconceivable. And then they introduced John Stewart, and I thought, cool. And a lot of people in the comics world lost their little minds that anybody, and I was like, dude, forget that he's black and that Hal Jordan's white. John Stewart's a better Green Lantern.
He is the super
like Hal Jordan's kind of a dick. Yeah, he's just such a good Green Lantern. Yeah. And he's black, which I also thought was cool.
I'm going to disagree with better people replaced you, Evie. Just other people.
Yeah, and also, Evie, you could join again.
You totally could.
What?
You are welcome to join again. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's possible. It's a crazy plan that just might work.
Is it? It's a cunning plan.
Yes, and there is also a Black Lantern.
That's completely different.
But Black Lantern, that is a completely different thing. Yes.
Many different lanterns. There you go. I'm not the only one.
That is an undead lantern.
Oh, man.
Evie would climb.
We need clean up on aisle chat over here. Good grief.
I have never reacted like that to anything. And I heard myself and I was so ashamed. Like, oh, that is not okay. He's a person. I still couldn't tell you
totally non-objectifying. Like, before going into this new movie, because I mean, back in the day, Christopher Reeve was like, there can be no other Superman. And it was very hard to conceive of a new Superman after Christopher Reeve. But they cast Henry Cavill, and I saw him the first time in the suit, and I was like, oh my God, he is actually Superman.
Yes, that was also my reaction.
I thought he was really good in the film.
I thought he was great. I didn't like the films so much because they were much more darker and cynical take on the whole thing.
Evie, who was he in Count of Monte Cristo?
Oh.
I grew up on that film.
I rewatched Stardust not long ago, and seeing Henry Cavill in that, I was like, oh my God, he was such a baby.
I didn't realize he was in that.
Such a baby. He's the boyfriend of the girl that Tristan wants.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
But
exactly, Evie.
We had a big talk, but Jason and I had a big talk beforehand, like nerding out on like what should Superman look like. And of course, Superman's strength is not because he has muscles.
No.
So he doesn't need to look like Henry Cavill. Like Henry Cavill is just like, he's a brick shit house. Yeah. He's just like a solid dude. And he doesn't need to look like that. Superman doesn't need to look like that. And this new guy is a lot, I mean, he's obviously fit, but he's a lot slimmer and wirier than Henry Cavill.
But like on a scale of things, he's still pretty buff.
Oh yeah, no question. He's
I feel like he's wiry in comparison.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you
And
compare
then
him to
seeing him in the movie, seeing him in the movie, I was like, I totally buy it.
Yeah.
I don't like his hair very much, but otherwise I totally buy it.
Good.
Like he's Superman, no question.
I'm having like
What
a
are you
moment
freaking out
here that Henry
The reality
Cavill
moment.
was the son of spoiler for
Mercedes.
Count of Monte Cristo. Yeah. Mercedes in Count of Monte Cristo. Like, of course he was. And I looked at the picture and I was like, oh my gosh, duh. But like I never connected those two things before. And I was like, suddenly this character looks completely different.
I love that. I got to see that face. Oh, that was awesome.
Thank you for that, Evie.
Yeah, it's a good thing you're wearing a bandana, otherwise your head would have exploded.
My eyebrows would have gone into my hairline, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was
We could see it happening live here on the
Bandana
SoundCloud.
protects my hairline. That's what it does.
keeps it right there.
Yeah.
I have not seen the movie that you're talking about, so
It's like my dad's favorite film of all time.
Right.
And so I've seen it many, many times, but not for a long time.
right.
That's okay. A connection has now been made that cannot be unmade.
Yeah.
What did
That was
surprise
fun.
me about the Superman film was other than Superman, and there are lots of superheroes in this movie. Other than Superman, they are all like C-list heroes.
Okay.
Like some you may not have ever even heard of.
Rude.
What? Rude.
Well, the assumption that we don't know our C-list superheroes.
Mr. Terrific?
Yeah, you guys.
Do you know Mr. Terrific?
Yeah, when he was in
He
that
plays a
movie.
huge role
That one
in this
with the-
in
with
this
the
movie
thing.
with the T on his face. Yeah, everyone
yeah.
knows him. Hawk Girl.
Yes, absolutely.
I actually
Growing
do
it like the
I mean, yeah, of course I know who she is,
she's
but
on
like
the Justice League. She's another intergalactic cop.
yeah, who looks like a hawk. Yeah, I
True.
don't know. Guy Gardner is also like, like everybody's heard of Green Lantern, but if they think of Green Lantern, they think of
They're not
probably Hal
thinking of
Jordan,
Guy.
or if they're maybe a bit later,
of
they're
all
thinking
three.
of John
I mean,
Stewart. But
I mean, I should say like what all four because Jessica Drew. I don't know when she popped up.
who?
Jessica Drew's the fourth one, right?
Right.
Yeah. Funny.
But I think calling Hawk
Marianne,
Girl C-list
I think
is-
also,
Uh,
yeah, B-list maybe, but like, I don't know.
She was literally in a movie the other year.
The
It
other
wasn't her
year,
movie. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
define A-list as you've titled in your own movie, and B-list is the average person has a greater than likely chance of knowing who you are because you've been around, and then
Mhm.
C-list is the average person probably has no clue who you are.
yeah.
And we are not average.
No.
And I no, we are not average, but I think the average person probably doesn't know who Hawk Girl is. Like if you said to the average, yeah, exactly. If you said to the average person, name 5 DC superheroes, they'd say Batman, Superman, Flash, Aquaman.
Yeah, but those are all A-list. So like I would say
Right.
like
Green Arrow.
name
Green
anyone
Arrow.
besides like the big
fucking
six.
hate the TV show. But
So
from
bad.
the comics, Green Arrow is one of my absolute favorite DC heroes. He's B-list, no question. He's a B-lister, no question. But I love him. Haha, Evie.
Oh, there's 2 others before Jessica Drew. I'm a fake fan, obviously.
Totally.
I don't know who any of these people are, so I'm just listening.
I think it's absolutely forgivable not being able to keep track of the Green Lanterns because there are
a
so
lot of them
many
just
of them.
flow through. Oh, Kyle Rayner. I should have remembered that one. I have no idea who Simon Baz is.
Wonder Woman. Good call, Ron. Good call.
Wonder Woman, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's an A-lister as well,
I
obviously.
know who that is.
Yeah. And they are apparently working on a new Wonder Woman movie.
I did see that.
I thought they canceled that one because there was Are you talking about New Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot?
No.
Okay, good, because I know that was canceled.
No, well, I mean,
they
what's going on?
Lied to her, and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to do it," and then
no, that's old history. What's going on now that James Gunn is DC studio boss?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this show or this movie and an animated show called Creature Commandos.
Oh, that's already out.
Yeah, those are already out, and those are the new DCU, the beginning of the new DCU.
Yeah.
And in the new DCU, there's going to be a Wonder Woman movie. I don't know about like dates or anything like that, but I heard that they are doing that.
Yeah, I only vaguely know what's going on next because I know my knowledge is basically Batman 2 that's not going to be part of the DCU. Batman that's going to be...
There is a Batman that's going to be part of the DCU.
Yeah, but they're going to do... Aren't they doing a Damian Wayne story for that one, if I remember correctly?
I think so.
It's going to be interesting because I don't think we've seen Damian live action before.
There's a comic that's based on. I forget what it's called.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, it's where Robin is actually the son of Batman.
I think it's probably called The Son of Batman.
No, it's not. It's got I think it's called Bound by Honor or something like that. I forget. Anyway.
Yeah. And then they're doing Supergirl and then the Green Lanterns TV show.
Yeah.
Supergirl, I'm excited for.
Well, it's got the chick in it from House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Indeed. Yeah, and she looks like she's going to be a very cool Supergirl, and that is based on a Supergirl run of the comic, which was very, very good. So
interesting. I did not know that. I was like, oh, this is going to be an interesting take I haven't seen before.
There's a Supergirl comic which you can get in like a trade paperback bind up called Woman of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Which I think is the inspiration for the new movie.
Is that like...
Well, this might be the time for DC to come up with their own thing that they're not trying to copy the MCU while the MCU is dealing with the backlash of oversaturation. That DC could rise at the minute.
I think it's interesting because the first reviews for Fantastic Four came out recently.
Oh,
and there are some interesting similarities in some of the praises for it. Right, because I think both of them have received the praise of like they're kind of not afraid to go back to their comic book roots a little bit more than they have in the past.
Right.
So,
I think that's been needed for DC for a while.
It's just interesting that both of those movies came out and they both had the same idea of in like conceptually of like, hey, let's kind of try something different. Yeah. And it was the same different thing, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. But
and the new Fantastic Four looks really good.
Looks. Seriously, if you haven't read the biography of Christopher Reeve, it's called Still Me, and it is really, really good. I didn't know until I read that how close a friend he and Robin Williams were.
Yeah. One of the brand new things that the first brand new thing that came out of the new DC studios is a documentary called Super/Man, which is a biography of Christopher Reeve. Mm-hmm. It's not a superhero film at all. It's about Christopher Reeve and his life. And his son is in the new Superman movie.
That makes me
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like very brief cameo.
Of course.
Very very brief cameo. He's like a TV reporter, and there's like live from the scene, and there's this guy reporting, and it's Christopher Reeve's son. Yeah,
that's always nice.
Yeah,
and I am in fact the woman of tomorrow.
Jerry is apparently the woman of tomorrow because it is actually tomorrow where she is. Yeah. Oh, interesting. There's a new Billy Joel documentary.
Yes, I saw that being advertised.
I would actually like to see it if I could see HBO Max in Germany. That would be
Somebody
awesome.
was saying that one of the benefits of it being Billy Joel and the length of his career in music is that there's pretty much no one he hasn't worked with. So there's going to be a lot of interest there across musical interests.
He has done quite a lot.
Yeah.
Is that what you're reading, Evie?
I am very slowly reading Eliza Locke.
I've never seen that cover.
Okay.
This is the reissue covers.
Hold it up closer to the camera.
Yeah, I kind of like those covers.
I actually like it.
I like it.
I think
it reminds me a little bit of the Tyrants covers.
That, and also look at The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence, and then
the
marketing team wasn't like, hey,
there's obviously a style.
Good idea.
There's obviously a style which has become.
This is the new genre cover.
Yes. Huh. Can I ask how you're liking it?
So he, much like with the story that I read from Scott Lynch, his prose forces me to slow down. Not because it's complicated; it's just very rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow! Dan
I really want to reread those.
John and Billy Joel together. Oh my god!
Yeah, that would have been a pretty amazing show. Yeah.
Wow.
I never got to see either of them live. I grew up on Billy Joel. My mother was very into Billy Joel, so as a kid I was listening to vinyl albums, all of Billy Joel's. Like I can sing pretty much every song he ever wrote from memory. I would love to have seen him live, but never got the chance so far, and I'm unlikely to. Oh well.
Yeah, big fan.
Yes.
Tori,
The Stranger
will we do
is a perfect
reread
album.
of Lies of Lachlan at some point?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
it could happen, couldn't it?
the plan currently, I think, is so Kay has never read it from Kay's Hidden Shelf. And she was going to read it this year, and I said, well, you just let me know when you're going to read it and I'll jump on because I want to reread it this year anyway. And I think it's happening this fall. So if you want to jump on for that or anybody else,
Let me know too.
Noted.
I would love to.
Okay.
I would love to reread that.
Cool. Yeah,
I've been
same.
wanting to for quite a while.
It's been like 4 or 5 years for me, and it's been too long. I miss that series so much.
Yeah, I read the first two in college, so it's been ages. I'd love to get, especially with the new covers. Like one of the things I want to do once I have, like, I'm trying to move soon, hopefully. And once I get more bookshelves, is get like the new covers of Lies and then the new covers of A Song of Ice and Fire, which I really like.
Yeah, that was a nice set.
Yeah.
Nice.
And those will definitely spur a well, there's been rumors of a reread happening eventually anyways for Song of Ice and Fire. So
there's always going to be a reread of Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Alan's going to reread Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, okay. And you're not allowed to participate in anybody else's rereads.
It's true.
Yeah, the rest of us just have to kind of like wait around for gaps.
Yeah. Like he's not doing it, so it'll be a while. Because, you know, when he starts talking about it, we've got a few months.
I'm also like fine not rereading it for a while. Because like part of what it was is I was going to reread it with Alan eventually anyways, when Alan and Anitha read it. And that's a lot to do another reread for. So I kind of was just like, you know what? I won't reread it until Winds of Winter comes out. Or Alan. Because whenever Winds of Winter comes out, I'm going to want to reread it when that happens.
Everybody will be rereading it. Once we get a release date for Winds, everybody will reread. And then it will be fighting over whether we all do like a simultaneous stream while we read it, or we take turns, but there will be a booktube marathon happening. I guarantee.
There will be a lot of Song of Ice and Fire happening.
BookTube will be so inundated with Song of Ice and Fire things. Alan's not going to read it for at least a decade after it comes out.
Yeah,
I might be with him.
Guaranteed.
I will definitely be in the marathon reading it the day it releases.
I'll definitely get into it.
I've read it so many times that let's just. Because that's how I found BookTube, was through Song of Ice and Fire content. Because I read it that many times that, you know, watching History of Westeros and Indie Geek and Radio Westeros and, you know. So.
I try not to be, but I'm a little skeptical. Like, well, skeptical whether it's ever going to happen. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I
if
don't know
it
that
does,
we'll get Dream. But
if it does, I'm skeptical of the quality.
See, that's why I'm not skeptical, because it's taking so long. He knows people are waiting. And he knows he's going to be judged so much on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's why Rothfuss hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
it's
think
that
there are
pressure.
other
Yeah.
excuses for that.
That mental pressure is just insane. And, some people cope and some people don't.
Ross
Yeah.
has brought himself into a corner, and I think he's realized the flaws of some of his works, and now he realized that he can't end it the way he wants.
Yes, Marianne, the one after Windswood is A Dream of Spring.
Yeah, that's never
and
happening.
The one I think we won't get.
That is not going to happen. Yeah,
No.
unless it won't happen from him anyway.
I think
The way I look at it, Winds is the hardest to write because he has to bring everything down. But once he does that, I think Dream would be fast because we're on the downward hill, straight bit to the finish line.
Maybe could happen.
The problem is that Game of Thrones really shows how much of a discovery writer George is.
Yes,
and he has to almost kick that habit to finish Dreams ever.
Well, I think that's why. I don't think I know. That's why it's taking Winds so long because he writes it, and he writes it until he can't go any further and goes, "It doesn't work. I need to start again." So he starts again. He has written Winds probably 8 times.
Really, and he's talked about it, writing and rewriting.
He rewrites entire plot lines.
Yeah,
it's.
We're lucky it only happened once with the end of Red Rising.
It's kind of crazy. But, he keeps saying he's almost done. So he's obviously got one character that's not behaving, that won't fit in with everybody else because he writes POVs in order and then writes another POV in order. And obviously someone isn't playing the game. And he has to keep changing things.
It's really annoying when they do that.
And that's how he talks about it. He's like, there's this. I've locked in a couple of characters, and the way I see it,
it's got to be. Like I don't write, so what do I know? But just imagining it, if you really are like 100% a discovery kind of person, a gardener, rather than an architect, it's gotta suck when you've written this much. Because I can't imagine that. Like,
he knows where he's going.
You're going to run into big obstacles. You're going to write yourself into a corner. You're going to completely screw certain things up because you don't have a plan.
And this is where he gets misquoted, and he's fought back about it a few times, where he says people think I'm just a gardener. No. I know what's happening. I know where this is going. I know how it will end, and it won't change based on the reaction to the show because that's not how I'm getting there. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't know how he's getting there is the thing for some of the things. And then the things he does write influences the characters, and he's still got to keep them all corralled going in the direction he needs them to go because he knows where he's going. So
I respect the fact that he said like he's not changing a bunch of things because of reactions to the show, and this happened a little bit with something about Brandon Sanderson was saying with Wind and Truth. There have been authors in the past who have done that, right?
And
who have written things, and then like people guessed exactly what the twist was, and they're like, "No, you can't guess it," and they changed the twist from what they actually intended to be. And this happened with several things in Wind and Truth as well, where literally within weeks, there were plot lines that were guessed the ending of for after Rhythm of War came out. And we talked about them, and there are so many people that didn't like Wind and Truth because they hated the theories. They were like, okay, this specific champion theory I hate. And then when that happened, they hated the book because they had gotten so attached to hating that theory. And I don't know. And it's really interesting. One of the things that
is that stupid.
It's a little stupid.
Kind of is. Yeah,
it is.
Well, if you're that attached to a theory about something that isn't written yet, you don't read it when it releases. You wait for someone else to read it and then confirm whether or not your theory is going to be okay. Because if you know you're going to hate it, don't read it.
Yeah.
Let your own imagination tell you how it went.
If you hate it that much and it's poisoning your life so much, write your own book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Write your own Stormlight fanfic.
Even with the amount of Song of Ice and Fire content that I've consumed over the years in the wait for Winds, where so many people have kind of penciled in where we think the story's going to go. And there's like a consensus. I was like, oh yeah, well, this has to happen this way, and this has to happen this way. And that's definitely what this means. If George R.R. Martin writes something completely different, I will be over the moon, because I got to spend all of those years coming up with stories, and he's come out with an even better, different one.
Yeah.
That'll be amazing.
It's also the thing that drives me a little crazy about all of the theories and holding them up as being so important and exactly this should happen or shouldn't happen or whatever, is it's kind of reducing the experience of reading a book down to the plot.
Also, and
nothing else.
A fairly large, portion of things that will never be confirmed. And as readers, that's fine. Mm-hmm. The big things, the big questions, the big thematic plotline things, okay, they're going to get wrapped up. But some of the little questions that people have noticed in backstories and subplots, they're never going to get questioned. Answered. The question will always remain. And I love that it means we can still argue about it when the books are finished.
Any relatively large, complicated world and large, complicated story, that is part of it.
Yeah.
Like, no author is going to answer every question.
What?
Yeah, sorry. Just not going to happen.
It goes along with the expectations. Like, regardless of whether it's you're anticipating something, a writer doing something in a book that you're anticipating, or it's other readers talking about a book that you want to read or going to read or whatever. It's an expectation that either others or yourself is setting for a work, whether it's already out or going to be written or whatever. So your
expectations always change what you're experiencing.
Yeah, your expectations change. And also, in my experience, when you set your expectations, however lofty or not, you're gonna be disappointed, because if you tie yourself to your expectations so much, if it's not that, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. And this is why if George comes out with something that doesn't follow these penciled in rules that so many creators have created, I'm okay with that, because my only expectation of wins is that George writes me a story about these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want from him.
Thornall, I'm certain that George R.R. Martin has an agent and a lawyer, and they are not idiots.
They're also very wealthy at this point.
Also,
very wealthy and not stupid. So I cannot imagine that they would have ever allowed him to sign that contract.
There's a very good interview with him on the History of Westeros podcast with Aziz and Ashaya, and they ask him about the show ending and the books, and he said, some of what they have given you has stayed the same. Most of it hasn't, because the nature of the story is that it can't. They left so many things out of the TV show. They changed so many of the smaller subplots that meant that later major plots couldn't happen. Mm-hmm. And they're just so different at this point that they literally can't end the same way. So it's a ridiculous doubt that people have in their minds.
I think also no matter what you do, like TV shows and movies are adaptations.
Yeah. And it's going to change.
And especially I think if you do just a movie, you might only have to, you might want to, but you might only have to change this much.
Yeah.
But if you're doing 8 seasons, you're going to diverge more and more, because you change something in season 1, something in season 2 also has to be different than the book. And then it's just going to happen.
And the differences get bigger and bigger and bigger the further your story goes.
Yeah.
And to have left out the incredibly huge plot lines, and they are huge. I mean, someone's already mentioned it, John Connington. That's a storyline as deep and rich as Jon Snow's. That there's as much going on in terms of how it's going to affect everybody else. Not even mentioned in the TV show. Not even a hint that storyline is happening. And it's massive. So it's literally not possible for the books to be anything like the show.
Yeah.
Just not possible.
I think it'd be interesting to see if, like, so I feel like a lot of people don't like the very ending about who sits on the Iron Throne. I feel like
if George takes us there, it will be fine.
That's what I was about to say.
No,
I feel like
no spoilers for some people that have not seen the show, so no spoilers.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm happy
I only know it because I haven't
George
seen the show. And spoilers like this.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel makes the point. Major plot points in the show are still going to happen in the books in ways that make more sense, but the stupid version is known. The good version will suffer. The readers who already know the difference between the books and the show, we know the books are going to be better. We know that. Take, for instance, I mean, someone earlier, the Hodor. That's not going to go that way. And there are still so many theories about how that's going to go, even though we've had it confirmed that in essence, that's the key word, in essence, yes, that's how Hodor, that's the end of Hodor's line. Essence in a fantasy series. Interpretation means this could still go anywhere, even though we've been confirmed. That is broad strokes. This is how it ends. But when you get into the nitty-gritty, it could be very, very different. Yeah. And yet you could still describe those two different things with the same words.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everybody.
I didn't realize I felt quite so strongly.
Let it all out, Derry.
We are not surprised. We are not at all surprised, Derry. It is past 11 p.m. here in Berlin.
That is late.
It's getting late. Yeah, I'm a late evening kind of person, and
the sun's up here, so I should
have to particularly get up at any particular time. So I can stay up as late as I want, but I'm noticing I'm getting tired.
Okay.
So
we shall let you go, perhaps.
Thank you all, everybody on the screen, you lovely people, for joining me. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining. Thank you, Viviana, for calling me a racist. I still don't understand why, but that was interesting.
I'm in Spanish.
Very strange.
Reason. Yeah, it kind of surprised me as well.
Matt, you're not the only guy on this stream, because she could be calling me racist. I don't know why.
Maybe because I'm a skeptic.
Yeah, well, no, that was the thing. It was also vaguely worded. I don't know who it was aimed at. Could have been aimed at some author we were talking about. I have no idea.
Yeah, it was very strange.
It was very strange. Thank you, everybody who didn't call anyone a racist, for being here. It's been a pleasure, as every week. I look forward to next week. I don't have any particular out-of-town plans or anything like that. So, mood willing, there will be a Sunday pub every Sunday for the next few weeks, at least. And I look forward to seeing you all then soon. Have a lovely week. Have an awesome reading week. And I'll